Listening to 5 Live Sport, live from Old Trafford, Carling Cup semi-final second leg. Manchester City lead Manchester United 2-1 from the first leg. And our commentary team, our chief football correspondent Mike Ingham, the former England winger Chris Waddle, and to start commentary here's Simon Brotherton.
Thank you, Mark. Hello everyone. Rarely has there been a more eagerly awaited derby match between these old rivals. Can the so-called noisy neighbours City prevail and lay down a marker indicating that just maybe the balance of power in Manchester is starting to shift? Or will United overcome the 2-1 first leg deficit and reaffirm their pre-eminent position held for so many years? What a setting, what an atmosphere we've got here, and what a match in prospect for the right to meet Aston Villa in the final. The headline team news is that Rio Ferdinand plays for Manchester United, having contested his violent conduct charge. Raphael is preferred to Wes Brown, and both Scholes and Nani start ahead of Valencia and Berbatov. Manchester City unchanged from the first leg. Kolo Touré hasn't returned from Africa in time to play, while Emmanuel Adebayor is back from Togo and has been named as one of the substitutes. Zabaleta stays in midfield with Stephen Ireland named as one of the substitutes. Here are the teams in full. Manchester United have Edwin van der Sar in goal. Across the back it's Rafael da Silva, Rio Ferdinand, Johnny Evans and Patrice Evra. In midfield, Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick and Darren Fletcher, with Nani and Ryan Giggs providing the width for Wayne Rooney. City have Shay Given in goal. At the back, Micah Richards, Dedrick Boyata, Vincent Kompany and Javier Garrido. In midfield, that defensive shield of Gareth Barry, Nigel de Jong and Pablo Zabaleta, with Craig Bellamy and Sean Wright-Phillips in support of Carlos Tevez. Somehow, Chris Waddle, just ahead of this match, it feels even bigger than a semi-final of a cup competition, doesn't it? There's something symbolic about this, you sense, within the city of Manchester.
Well, it could be the start of City getting a win to win the competitions, and that's one thing your rival don't want to do. Manchester City have dominated the City for a long time. They don't want City to lift anything up, and I think that shows in the team he's picked, Alex Ferguson. But it's like anything, if you're looking at favourites, you've got to say Man United to win this game at home. But it's all on the tempo of Man United for me. If they play at the tempo which they're good at, which is quick and moving the ball, a lot of movement, they're hard to live with. If they play slow, they'll play into City's hands.
And if you're Roberto Mancini and you're Manchester City, presumably you cannot try to come here and defend a slender 2-1 lead.
What he's done is he's packed the width with pace. Tevez is very lively, and that's what they're going to rely on, counter-attacking football. You know, when you've got Bellamy, you can get at Raphael. I think Wright-Phillips will do well to get the better of Evra. I think it was a terrific fullback. But Tevez will move Evans and Ferdinand around. And don't get us wrong, this City team will create chances, but it's whether they can defend well.
I tell you what, arguably we've got the two best players in the country at the moment on form, haven't we? In Tevez on one side and Wayne Rooney on the other. Rooney with his 4 goals against Hull at the weekend, and Tevez in the form that he's in. Both goals for City in the first leg last week. Howard Webb is the referee. You don't need me to tell you that Manchester United are in the red shirts and Manchester City in the sky blue. Manchester United will kick off. United defending the Stretford end, away to our left in the first half. Manchester United kicking from left to right as we look from high above the dugouts. Wayne Rooney prepares to get the match underway with Michael Carrick as Aberdeen go 1-up at Hearts in the SPL. Howard Webb gets this Carling Cup semi-final second leg underway. The prize, a place at Wembley. The holders, Manchester United, 2-1 down from the first leg last week at the City of Manchester Stadium. Old Trafford, as you will expect, packed to the rafters. Nani on the attack down the right-hand side. Just turns inside Garrido. De Jong comes across and just nudges the ball out of play.
That's straight away. You saw Tevez from the kick-off chased Evra down, Evans down, back to Van der Sar.
Scholes in possession for United. Started at the weekend, gets a place in the starting 11 tonight as well. Patrice Evra on the halfway line on the Manchester United left. Forward towards Giggs, who plays it back into his own half, but straight at Tevez. But Tevez doesn't control the ball very well. He looks for Sean Wright-Phillips, who slips over, and away come United as Evra gives the ball away. It's a little bit scruffy and scrappy here in the early passages of play as Fletcher goes in on De Jong and the ball just squirts up into the air. Manchester United have it back with Johnny Evans, who's tackled by Zabaleta. Zabaleta then goes in on Evra, who plays it into the centre circle, and Gareth Barry collects for Manchester City. City pushing forward with Garrido down the left wing to Bellamy, running towards the byline, tries to get the cross in. It's gone behind of Raphael. It's the first corner of the match, and it comes with just over a minute played, and it's Manchester City who have it.
Well, Bellamy already, just simple ball down the side, let it go through his legs, pulled Raphael, got the byline. Yes, he recovered, but he's given a corner away. And you've got to say, yes, it's nice to have Ferdinand back for his height and his presence, but City did look very threatening at Eastlands on set pieces.
A reminder, in the Premier League, just one goal so far. Chelsea leading Birmingham City by 1-0 as Gareth Barry prepares to take this corner on the Manchester City left-footed outswinger into the heart of the penalty area. Easy header away for Rio Ferdinand, met by Javier Garrido, forward towards De Jong, right in the centre of the field. De Jong plays it square along the ground to the right, and Wright Phillips, who swings it up to the edge of the penalty area. Gareth Barry on the left-hand side just took a little too long, and Nani whipped in and put it out of play for a throw.
Good start, City. We're talking about tempo, and City have started very well.
Well, it's exactly what Roberto Mancini, the manager, was asking for. He said, we need to start this match quickly, and to set the tone for the evening, we must not sit back on this 2-1 lead. Mancini there casually standing on the edge of the technical area with that now familiar already blue and white scarf wrapped around his neck as Vincent Kompany plays it forward over the halfway line. It's deflected away by Raphael. Ball bounces again on the halfway line on the edge of the centre circle. Evra wins it for Manchester United. Giggs now surging forward, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Richards, very athletic and vibrant, gets back goal side, and Giggs is forced to play the ball back into midfield. Scholes now sprays it from the centre out to the right towards Nani. Little bit of a stretch to keep it in by the corner flag. Tries to do so. His cross is deflected off the left knee of Garrido, and it's a corner to the home side.
Well, it's a wonderful way to build. A bit blustery out there, wasn't it? Lovely weight by Scholes, getting it out to Nani, who's earned a corner off Garrido.
Very promising start to the match here in the opening 3 minutes or so. Great noise inside Old Trafford as Ryan Giggs wanders across to take the corner. Giggs having put United ahead in the first leg. Manchester City coming from behind to snatch it by 2-1. That's the slender 1-goal advantage they have here. Giggs with the corner, in it comes. It's headed away by the shaven-headed figure of De Jong up towards the centre circle, where Patrice Evra flicks it back to Raphael. Raphael preferred tonight by Sir Alex Ferguson to Wes Brown, who sits on the substitutes bench. Now Scholes, he's pulling strings already, away to the left, and Evra, left-hand angle of the penalty area. Down towards the byline he goes, he's just nudged off it by Richards, and United have their second corner in the first 4 minutes.
Well, Paul Scholes, two wonderful diagonal balls, one to the right, one to the left, in both corners. You've got to get on him, whether it's Zabaleta's job or not, somebody's got to get on Paul Scholes.
A reminder, Chelsea leading Birmingham 1-0, no goals elsewhere in the Premier League, and in the Championship, Scunthorpe 1 up on Sheffield Wednesday. Nani with the corner on the Manchester United left, and it's an absolutely awful one. It just bobbles into the penalty area, and De Jong thumps it clear, and it bounces out of play over on the far side. And Nani will need to make a better sort of delivery than that. He's away from Tevez this time on the left, and then sliding in is Gareth Barry, conceding the throw, level with the edge of the penalty area.
Two wasted corners, weren't they? Giggs was very flat, but Nani's was terrible.
United then with the throw on the left-hand side. Evra takes it. Nani wants the ball, wearing bright yellow boots, and he's won another corner here. United's third in quick succession as they try to lay siege to the Manchester City goal. It's taken quickly, short this time by Nani, flicked into the box by Ryan Giggs, repelled away by De Jong, 5 yards outside the area. Evra crosses it in, Fletcher gets up and heads the ball well wide of the goal.
Sometimes when you get everybody behind the ball, which City are doing, sometimes it causes problems. You know, why does Tevez have to come back? Why does Bellamy have to come back? You know, if you leave them two up the field, it gives Manchester United a problem.
Well, you'd think already that they have enough in terms of defensive midfield players, wouldn't you, Chris, with the three of them? It's not just De Jong and Barry, they've got Zabaleta in there as well. United attack again, Fletcher through towards Rooney, and Rooney finding his path towards the ball, blocked by the youngster Boyata, who stood up well to Rooney there and shielded the ball so that Shay Given could gather it.
Now look at City already, for all the started bright. Manchester United's got them penned back in the half. A lot of people behind the ball, but you know, you've got to have an out ball, and unfortunately Tevez is getting isolated. You know, it's very early in the game. So you just got to send it, try and turn his back foot and get City up the field.
Boyata gets it clear. Wright Phillips on the right-hand side. He's fouled by Scholes. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Not quite at the midway point of the Manchester United half. It's right of centre, and perhaps a chance for them to get the ball into the penalty area and threaten the Manchester United goal. In the Premier League, Chelsea 1, Birmingham City 0. In the Championship, Scunthorpe 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. In the Scottish Premier, Celtic are 1 up on Hibernian. There's a goal at Newcastle in the Championship. Peter Slater.
It's been scored by Newcastle United, 19th minute. Once again, bad luck for Crystal Palace. Corner on the right by Danny Guthrie. Andy Carroll's header deflected off Sean Derry and completely wrong-footed Speroni. It's Newcastle 1, Palace 0.
Thanks, Peter. Here it's 0-0 on the night between United and City. 2-1 Manchester City lead on aggregate. Gareth Barry with a free kick into the penalty area, sails over everyone's head and straight through to Edwin van der Sar.
Well, set pieces not being very successful on both sides at the minute. Poor deliveries.
Away comes Raphael down the right-hand side. Short ball, picking out Nani. Nani faced by Nigel de Jong. Nani with a little ball infield to Raphael. Goes to the return, but Garrido is there for Manchester City. They should clear. Bellamy has it, and there's been a foul there by Nani, who'll get told off for Howard Webb. And while that happens, let's go to Goodison. There's a goal between Everton and Sunderland. Jackie Oatley.
And Sunderland's defending has cost them once again after just 7 minutes of the game. Fellaini's ball into the box. Cahill with a flicked header. He got above Nosworthy. It's Everton 1, Sunderland 0.
Thanks, Jackie. 1 or 2 goals then in the Premier League, with Chelsea leading Birmingham as well. Just complete the Scottish Premier League ladies' score. Celtic 1 up on Hibs. Dundee United 0, St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. That brings you right up to date with the goals in England and Scotland, as we've had a little break in play here, but now Manchester City are ready to continue. Zabaleta, who is the victim of the foul, trots across towards the near side, having had treatment, and will be on shortly. Dundee United now 2-0 down at home to St Johnstone in the SPL as Shay Given prepares to take the kick. Given a rare day off at the weekend, with Stuart Taylor making his debut for the club in the 4-2 FA Cup win at Scunthorpe. Given, all in green, takes the kick down the left-hand side. Raphael gets up well against Tevez, who didn't really contest the header, and now Giggs forward over the top of the defence. Left-hand angle of a penalty area with Rooney, brings the ball under control, turns away from Richards, whips in a shot, one bounce, and it's into the mid-drift of Shay Given.
Terrific run, terrific ball, and that's a striker with a lot of confidence at the minute, Wayne Rooney. Terrific season. One thing in his main, once he got turned, couldn't say 20 yards out, right foot, hits a target, comfortable save for Given.
Well, Wayne Rooney in fantastic form, as you were suggesting there, Chris, with 4 goals here against Hull at the weekend. 4 goals in 10 games against Manchester City. While the game goes on, a quick change of gloves for Shay Given, who at the moment only has 1 glove on, as Garrido heads it over the halfway line.
They've obviously got long studs instead of short in.
I was going to say, I know he's good, but even he can't play one-handed, surely. United in possession with Patrice Evra. 0-0 here at Old Trafford with nearly 9 minutes played. 2-1 City lead on aggregate. United attack again. Rooney just on the edge of the D. Company's done well, stood his ground and cleared the ball up towards Sean Wright Phillips, who turned straight into Evra, who physically was too strong for him. Evra with a cross, but it's too high and too long, and it lands in the third row of the crowd behind the goal.
For me, City just can't get out. They've got Bellamy far too deep. Wright Phillips, they are literally playing as a 5, and Tevez, if you look when the game's going on, he's literally 30-40 yards away from the nearest man. You can't play like that. You've got to be brave, you've got to push up, try and win the ball higher up the field. And
Shay Given has had another change of gloves. He seems happy now. I didn't know, do goalkeepers have gloves with varying degrees of stickiness on them?
I don't know.
He wasn't happy with what he got, and hopefully he's happier now.
The ones I had were them green ones with little bubbles on them.
Yeah. Mind you, the ones he's got on there are big enough, aren't they? They look like those big hands that Kenny Everett used to have all those years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball on the halfway line, throw in to Manchester City, taken by Garrido, but United win it back briefly, and it just bounces off the left shin of Nani. 15 yards inside the Manchester United half, and City on their left have a throw in here. The home crowd a little quieter here, with 10 minutes played, 0-0. Nani wins it back in midfield, prods it forward to the halfway line. Giggs evades the tackle, the sliding challenge of Wright Phillips, but City have it back. First touch for Tevez, who quite predictably is booed by the Old Trafford faithful, as Bellamy has a slight misunderstanding with Garrido. Gareth Barry tries to win the ball, then falls over, and I think rather craftily falls on the ball, and confident that he would get a free kick, which he subsequently has, and Manchester City have it just 3 or 4 yards short of the halfway line.
But they've got to play everything long. United's pushed right in, they don't want to play it short, and they've only got Tevez to hit.
Tevez in fantastic form, 13 goals in his last 11 matches. It was his contribution as much as anyone's who got United to the final last year, 6 goals in the competition, but times have changed. He's playing for the other half of Manchester now. Vincent Kompany in the centre at the back, has the ball midway inside his own half. 5 Live Sport. Nearly 11 minutes played in the first half at Old Trafford. 0-0 here. Both sides starting reasonably well. Mancini out to the edge of the technical area, having a few words with Gareth Barry, who's no more than 5 yards away. Kompany plays it square on the halfway line, in towards Zabaleta, forward to Wright Phillips, who's watched very closely by Evra, but City try and work their way forward. Little spin and a turn away from Tevez, but he can't feed it out to the right to Zabaleta because United get it back. It was an interception by Johnny Evans. Now it's forward. Wayne Rooney waits for support. Rooney just a few yards outside the penalty area. Lovely little back heel into space. Chance of the cross from Fletcher. It comes off the boot of De Jong. Will it go out of play? No, I think Richards has stopped it from going for a corner as he hoofs it into the crowd.
Very simple, isn't it? I mean, I know Kompany's not a centre-half, but very inexperienced, and it's just simple balls down the sides, and Rooney's movement's excellent, don't get us wrong, but they should be dealing that 2 against 1.
Rooney, Manchester United have got the ball over on the far side, minor stoppage in play. Rooney is relishing this new role without Ronaldo at the club this year, isn't he, Chris?
He took a lot more responsibility, he's grown up a lot.
And he's not stuck out wide, is he? Which is the least favourite position for him.
He's basically, even when Berbatov plays, he seems to be the furthest man forward now.
Manchester United with a free kick just in from the left-hand side, about 12 yards from the byline, which Ryan Giggs will take. Howard Webber's blown the whistle, he's ready. Here comes the kick now, left-footed, Fletcher goes up for it, De Jong heads it clear. Scholes shoots from 25 yards. That was classic Scholes, but he couldn't quite keep it down and it went sailing over the bar.
Well, one player in the park capable of putting that in the goal is Paul Scholes. It was a difficult bit of skill, it come out of him. It was on his right foot, which he favours. Half volley. And Ford couldn't keep it down, always rising, never troubling given.
It's always worth it though to see Scholes. He always tends to loiter just outside the penalty area in those situations, and more than once before we've seen the ball end up in the top corner of the net as Shay Given clears it. A reminder elsewhere in the Premier League tonight, Villa and Arsenal 0-0, Blackburn Wigan 0-0, Everton 1, Sunderland 0, Chelsea 1, Birmingham 0, Newcastle 1 up on Crystal Palace in the Championship, Scunthorpe 1 up on Sheffield Wednesday. In the Scottish Premier, Celtic lead Hibs 1-0, Dundee United trail St Johnstone 2-0 at home, and St Mirren are 1-0 down to Rangers. There's been a goal at Celtic. Brian McLaughlin.
It's an equaliser for Hibs. Carbon copy to the Celtic goal. Corner in from the left-hand side. Up left, Anthony Stokes this time though to head the ball past Artur Boruc. Celtic 1, Hibs 1.
Thanks, Brian. 13 minutes played here on 5 Live Sport. 0-0 on the night at Old Trafford between United and City. 2-1 Manchester City lead on aggregate. A place in the final at Wembley at stake, and Dedrick Boyata with a extremely overhit pass from the halfway line, and Zabaleta might be quick, but he'd have had to have been a greyhound to get to that.
I don't think Sean Wright Phillips or Bellamy would have caught that, but Boyata looks very edgy when he's in possession, isn't he? Rooney's tending to play on the back of Boyata rather than stay with Kompany, and he's very inexperienced.
Well, in 19 years of age, a Belgian youth international defender, only made his debut in the FA Cup third round at Middlesbrough earlier this month, born in Brussels. A very, very big night for him. He came through the first leg and he's been given the chance to play again here by his manager Roberto Mancini, with players like Nader Manua forced to sit on the bench. The ball is cleared by Kompany, who finds Barry. Barry finds Bellamy, left-hand side, over the halfway line, skipping away. Garrido on the overlap outside him. Raphael backing off, out to Garrido. Garrido's cross into the heart of the penalty area. Tevez tussles with Evra. Tevez has got the ball down near the byline, right-hand edge of the penalty area. Forced outside the box. Now he brings it up towards the right-hand angle of the area. Back now towards Nigel de Jong. Square, left of centre with Garrido once again. Garrido forward towards Gareth Barry, who's popped up on the left wing, faced by Raphael, down towards the byline, tries to turn inside, and I think in the end Gareth Barry there more than happy to win a corner.
And I think that's where they're going. The threat is, if you can get it out to Bellamy, or anybody who wants to pull at this left hand side, get out Raphael. That is the weakness of the Manchester United back four.
They don't really have a lot to aim at, do they, City, though, with the way United are playing, the fact they haven't got Adebayor in the team.
I'd be tempted to put him on, because they can't get up the park.
Quarter of an hour played, over comes the corner into the heart of the penalty area, and Boyata beaten to the ball. Giggs now hooks it clear up to the halfway line. It bounces in the centre circle. Rooney turns, he's faced by Zabaleta, rolls it in, looks for Giggs again, and Sean Wright-Phillips was able to cover the ground and get the ball back towards Shay Given. There's been a goal at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea playing Birmingham City. Ian Dennis.
And Chelsea increased their advantage against Birmingham. They now lead 2-0. It was Ballack's square ball into Frank Lampard, who controlled it with his left and straight away hit it with his right, low into the bottom left-hand corner. Chelsea 2, Birmingham 0.
Manchester United attack, ball up to the edge of the penalty area. Nani tries to flick it into the box. Giggs heads it on and it's cleared away on the volley by Vincent Kompany. It then comes straight back towards City in their pale blue shirts, but De Jong finds Tevez on the halfway line. Short little ball back to Bellamy, looks to get things moving. It's high, it's long, it's beyond the right hand angle of the box, and it's beyond Wright-Phillips, and it goes bouncing away down near the corner flag, and it's a Manchester United goal kick. Let's head off to Villa Park and find out how Aston Villa and Arsenal are getting on. Pat Murphy.
It's 0-0. It's a fine game. Villa have had most of the chances. Ashley Young went desperately close from a free kick after Vermaelen had been booked for clogging at Heskey, and there was that earlier fine save from Almunia. Milner can't get in the game over Villa. It's Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
Thanks, Pat. Let's head off to Ewood Park. Blackburn playing Wigan, an 8 o'clock kickoff for Dave Woods.
So we played 60 minutes. It remains Blackburn 0, Wigan 0. Blackburn utterly dominant for the first 12 minutes or so. They hit the post in the 4th minute. Nikola Kalinic with a push shot from 6 yards out after Nzonzi and Hoylett doing well in the build-up. They have mostly dominated Blackburn. It's 0-0.
16 and a half minutes played here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. City lead 2-1 from the first leg. A place in the Carling Cup final at Wembley on Sunday the 28th of February against Aston Villa is at stake. Manchester United attack, left-hand side. Giggs to the edge of the box, in towards Fletcher. Look for a delicate little touch. It was repelled by Kompany. Ball breaks loose. In by Carrick to Nani. Nani with a cross in towards Rooney. Oh, brilliant header away by Boyata. It had to be as well. He puts it behind for a corner, but Rooney was right behind him coming in at the far post.
I've got to say, Nani started very well the game, hasn't he? Very competitive. That was a lovely ball in.
United have taken the corner quickly. Evra with an untimely slip allows Tevez to just scratch in and get the ball away, but it rolls out of play on the far side as we look for a Manchester United throw. Just a few yards from the corner flag on the left-hand side. It's in towards Giggs. Giggs tries to get the cross in, and Richards deflects it behind
there again,
corner.
a classic example. Throw in. City's got every player basically in the 18-yard box. Why doesn't leave Tevez or whoever upfield they're just encouraging United to come on.
But attacking on the break with players like Tevez and Bellamy surely is one of Manchester City's strengths as a team. Nani then with a corner, in it comes, headed away by De Jong, breaks loose, and Evra tries a shot that clearly took a deflection, and it was off a Manchester City defender. It's another corner.
Came off Bellamy. Again, the deliveries are not great, are they? I mean, there's not a lot of movement, I've got to say, in that box. Ferdinand's going towards the near post, Rooney on the keeper. But there's no pace on the deliveries.
No, they're not good deliveries, and that was what Darren Fletcher was just suggesting to Nani, who's taking the kicks on the far side. Over it comes again, and Rio Ferdinand with a little flick in towards the near post, but again the delivery was poor from Nani, and United need better than that in a match like this.
Well, it is poor. It's too flat, and Rio Ferdinand, what could he do with that? It's coming straight at him. He just tried to flick it with the outside of his foot, well way to the near post.
Well, of course they do have Luis Antonio Valencia among the substitutes tonight to Manchester United, and Wayne Rooney has been saying recently that the one thing with Valencia is the fact that you do get a lot of crosses into the penalty area. He will cross the ball, whereas Ronaldo tended to cut inside and do what he wanted to half the time. So Rooney's seeing a lot more of the ball and seeing a lot more chances come his way. We'll head off to Villa Park in just a moment. Manchester United try and attack down the left-hand side with Rooney. Brings the ball under control, rolls it under his foot, away to the left-hand side, and Fletcher tackled by Kompany. United have got a throw in. They're going to take it quickly with Ryan Giggs. In now towards Scholes. Scholes brings it under control with his right foot, sprays a pass to the right-hand angle of the penalty area, and Nani faced by Javier Garrido, turns inside him, beats Bellamy, ball breaks loose, and City should clear. So let's head off to Villa Park. And Pat Murphy.
Just to say that Sol Campbell has come on, the substitute for the injured Vermaelen. Within a minute or so he's busy organising, telling Gallas where to stand. It's still Villa 0, Arsenal 0 though.
And Tevez has ended up on the floor here after a little tussle, and Howard Webb wanders across to check that he's okay. Tevez stays on the ground holding his face.
Well, I never saw anything. I've got to say, we are a long way. We've got a monitor in front of you. We see the replay now. He has caught him, Ferdinand, but there's nothing in it. Nothing in it. He did catch him.
It was Ferdinand's left elbow.
Yeah, but there's nothing intent from me, and I think he is making a bit of a meal of it. He's up now, Tevez, so
Well, ironic that it would be Rio Ferdinand so soon after his little collision with Craig Fagan at the weekend. There's been a goal at Goodison, the second of the night for Jackie Oatley.
And it's a second for Everton. They lead Sunderland by 2-0. Baines ball into the box, nodded on by Cahill. Donovan with his first goal for the club, left-footed, past Gordon. Everton 2, Sunderland 0.
Let's go back to Ewood Park. Blackburn against Wigan, an 8 o'clock kick-off. Dave Woods.
Blackburn 1, Wigan 0. Thoroughly deserved. Brett Emerton's free kick floated to the edge of the area. Vladimir Stojkovic, the goalkeeper, came out to a crowd of defenders, didn't get anything on it much. It fell for Morten Gamps Pedersen, who volleyed it home. It's Rovers 1, Wigan 0.
Thanks, Dave. 20 minutes played here at Old Trafford on 5 Live Sport in the Carling Cup semi-final second leg. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 on the night. Mistake there by Boyata, almost let Rudy in, who was lurking about 2 yards away, but City get it back to Given.
Well, we said it was a gamble plenty, and so far it's worked for them, but he has been caught out 2 or 3 times, and his distribution hasn't been the best.
City try and attack with Wright Phillips. His shorts already distinctly muddied over on that far side. He loses possession, Giggs having tackled him, ball played forward, Rooney's offside, and Manchester City will have a free kick midway inside their own half.
He's just a bit slow coming back, but you've got to say it's been very lively, hasn't it, the opening 23 minutes of the game. Man United probably just shading it, but City always look a threat. You look at it and you just wonder, is Adebayor fit enough? Because I think if City had something up front who could get a hold of the ball, a bit of a target, it may change the game.
Well, you think he has to be fit enough to play some part, although Mancini was suggesting before the game that with him hardly having done any training or anything for a good couple of weeks, he wasn't contemplating starting him. But in a match like this, surely, Chris, with the overall fitness that he's got, the adrenaline as much as anything else should carry him through.
Well, you've got to look at how teams are playing, and at the minute for all City are containing United. I think they're living a little bit on the edge, apart from counter-attacking.
Wright Phillips attacks down the right-hand side. Evra goes scampering after him, dives in. Wright Phillips still has it on the byline, edge of the area. Ball played into the centre. Bellamy with a header, but it's plucked from the air from underneath the crossbar by Edwin van der Sar, who hardly raises an eyebrow.
But that wasn't easy to make, was it? Wright Phillips has gone through a couple of challenges, had a little bit of good fortune on the second challenge, got to the byline, picked Bellamy out. You just wonder, with somebody up front with a bit of presence, it would not help City get up the field.
Barry played forward towards Bellamy. Bellamy has an unfortunate deflection which almost carries the ball out of play and finally does. Raphael shielding the ball, and Manchester United with a throw, I think midway inside their free kick, actually just a yard in from, no, it's a throw in. Raphael tried to take a free kick and Howard Webb's brought the play back once again. Not much in this tie and not much in this game.
No, but
tonight.
if you're looking at it, you would say obviously United, just for me, look the more threatening. If there's anybody going to score in my eyes, it looks like
You'd
United.
expect that though, wouldn't you, here?
Yeah, no, but give City credit, they've defended well. They've got people behind the ball. I think they've isolated Tevez too much, but yes, they're away from home, and the one thing for Mancini is he has got substitutes who could come on and change the game for City.
Among them, Adebayor, one assumes after the terrible events in Angola when he was involved with the Togo team when they had the bus was shot at and 3 people died. I mean, he's had to deal with that in recent weeks, but one can assume that he feels ready to play, being as he's been named on the bench. And these are the sort of games that you need your big players to play.
This is a game. Looking at the game so far, Adebayor is the one who you'd fancy to come on and change it.
Tevez now forward for Manchester City, takes on the United defence into the penalty area, still going. He's still going, Tevez, and in the end it was a tackle from Rio Ferdinand that halted him, but United let him run, and words there between Tevez and Johnny Evans at the back, because Tevez almost wormed his way through the lot of them.
Terrific run by the little man up front. He really got at the back to, and I think they both hesitated. I think Evans should have took control. He was looking at Ferdinand. You can't look at each other in this game. You've got to make a decision, and Johnny Evans, for me, let him get through far too easy.
We're midway through the first half, 0-0 on the night, 2-1 to Manchester City on aggregate. Taking you through to half-time, Mike Ingham.
Well, the similarities with the first leg in that City, for the most part, seem to be content to allow Manchester United to have the ball and to hit them on the counter-attack, just like then. City still with that 1-goal advantage from the first leg. Carlos Tevez hardly endearing himself to the United fans, really making, I thought, a lot more than he should have done of that challenge from Rio Ferdinand. Anyway, the ball with Manchester United, playing from left to right in this first half. Little trick from Giggs to get away from Richards. Richards recovered well, though, to prevent Giggs getting the ball in. But now, here's an example of how City can suddenly counter-attack. Wright Phillips in full flow for City, taking on Johnny Evans. Evans is quick, though, and Evans manages to dispossess Wright Phillips and give the ball back to his goalkeeper. But City now is just starting to put together a few counters here.
Well, that was a great run by Ray Phillips. Give Johnny Evans credit there. If Ray Phillips had a bit of a trick, he could have got inside of him. Just went for pace and Evans matched him.
0-0 tonight, 2-1 to City from the first game. A little masterclass of passing from Paul Scholes in these opening 20 minutes. Rooney, those outnumbered by City players. Zabaleta and De Jong both there. And then there's something off the ball. After the ball had been released from Zabaleta, Howard Webb, just about the most experienced referee at the moment in England, is going to have to sort out his first real flashpoint here, with Rooney getting involved and Fletcher getting involved as well. He's clearing everybody away, and it's going to be a free kick.
I don't think Wayne Rooney did anything, I've got to say. I mean, we were watching it from here, and it just looked like he was chasing the ball. Zabaleta's, look, it's funny how they get up very quickly, don't they, when the referee's not. Look, he's up now. He's not going to need 2 seconds to go. Look.
Shay Given, the captain, is entitled to speak to the referee. He's the goalkeeper, and he's come a long way out of his goal as well. Now, what is Howard Webb going to do here? Is he going to show a card to Wayne Rooney? In fact, he's going to speak to Zabaleta, and he's going to speak to Rooney. This looks like this is going to be good refereeing, because he's not going to make anything more than this. He's just going to sort them out, calm them down, and then hopefully just restart the game.
Well, Wayne Rooney was just chasing the ball. Zabaleta seemed to be getting his way. A slight collision, nothing in it. He was chasing De Jong, Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney put his hands up.
This is 5 Live Sport. At the moment, Manchester United have... Well, what did you think? You have now seen a replay. He couldn't get out of the way, look. He can't get out of the way. Watch. If you watch, he's chasing it. He can't get out of the way. At the moment, Manchester United look like they're going to lose the leadership of the Premier League. Chelsea are beating Birmingham 2-0, but they, at the moment, regard this as a big deal, a big priority. The Carling Cuppers. Carrick feeds Nani. Again, City working very hard to get bodies around Nani. Nani will struggle here, under pressure from De Jong and Barry, and then eventually the ball goes out of play. And for Roberto Mancini, the City players, particularly in that middle area there, really working hard around the ball. It's a throw to City, and Garrido will take it just short of the halfway line. United 0, City 0. Emmanuel Adebayor is getting a great reception from the City fans, and one or two of the United fans too, I think, after what he's been through in this last month. He's just warming up at the moment, not required at the moment, but maybe later in this game. 0-0 here as Tevez now feeds Zabaleta. Zabaleta's shot is wayward, and Van der Sar just watches it scream wide of his post into the crowd. Goal kick to Manchester United, 0-0.
Well, if you look at Shaun Wright-Phillips, he's not really playing as wide as he started the first opening 5-10 minutes. He's come right inside, more or less trying to get next to Evans, and he's leaving Evra free, and I think that's trying to create a bit of space for Mika Richards to come, but City just lacking presence up front. Paul Tevez has really did, I think he works his socks off. He needs a partner alongside him. Too isolated.
Villa, remember, in the final, they're drawing at the moment 0-0 with Arsenal in that 7:45 game. It's still 0-0 between Blackburn and Wigan. Chelsea 2 up against Birmingham, Malouda and Lampard. Everton 2, Sunderland 0. In the Championship, Newcastle 1, Palace 0, Scunthorpe 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. And in Scotland, 1-1 between Celtic and Hibs. Rangers are leading 1-0 away to St Mirren. St Johnstone 2-0 up at Dundee United. Blackburn Rovers 1 up against Wigan in the 8 o'clock kickoff. So the only game in the Premier League without a goal so far is Aston Villa against Arsenal. It's a free kick to Manchester United, just inside the City half. United playing from left to right. Quite a blustery night here in Manchester. Been a bit of light drizzle around, just to give the players a great surface down there to try and enjoy. Stakes so high between these two in the City, still waiting for the first real big moment of the game. The ball is with Evra, halfway inside the City half, far side the left. Just teases the ball down the line to Fletcher. Fletcher, though, is easily beaten by Richards, and here comes a strong surge out of defence from Richards. Only Tevez downfield. Problem that Chris Waddle was talking about. Now Zabaleta in central midfield. City now play it to the left-hand side, and Garrido. And now Bellamy has a chance to run towards the United penalty area. The moment he's running towards the corner flag. In comes the cross, diving at it from Tevez, and Van der Sar didn't hold it cleanly. Johnny Evans will have to help him out. As City went in for the rebound there. The diving header from Tevez, Van der Sar seemed to have it, then let it slip, and Evans had to help him out, and now it's United on the counter-attack, the home side. Carrick and Scholes together. Neat little ball from Scholes to send Raphael moving down the right. On now to Nani, who made a bright start. Rooney's waiting on the edge of the area. Poor ball! Rooney may get handball though, given against Rooney, I think. As it seemed to be missed by the first defender. That was a better ball though that time from Nani. And we've got a free kick to Manchester City. Chris Waddle.
Well, going back to the say where Bellamy's run, he's had basically 30-40 yards to run in. Raphael backing off and backing off. You can't afford to do that. You've got to go and block it. He's letting Nani run in 60 yards to try and get in with Bellamy. It's a terrific header by Tevez. Van der Sar spilt it, and luckily for Gareth Barry, who was following in, it's just gone to the side of the goal. I think it's Evero clears it up.
Well, we had 7 goals in the game the last time these two sides met in the Premier League earlier in the season. That dramatic late goal from Michael Owen to win it for Manchester United. He's one of the substitutes tonight. So too is Dimitar Berbatov. And it's going to be a City throw-in, left-hand side, to be taken by Garrido. Now, because this is an 8 o'clock kick-off, we're going to start to get half-times in some of the matches. The first one to go to Chelsea-Birmingham, Ian Dennis.
Chelsea 2, Birmingham 0, far too easy for Chelsea. One-way traffic, Malouda's header after 5 minutes. Lampard made it 2, just past the half hour. Carvalho's hit the post. 2-0 Chelsea at the break.
Thank you, Ian. Here in the Carling Cup semi-final second leg, it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0, so it's exactly the way it was at the beginning. Still waiting to see who's going to get the initiative here. City leading by the 2-1 from the first match, and it's going to be another retake of this free kick. Referee Howard Webb not happy with the first one, so Van der Sar to take it. Under normal circumstances, in any normal season, not sure Van der Sar would have been in goal for this one. It would have probably been Kuszczak, but Van der Sar and Sir Alex Ferguson going in with his top players here. High ball now towards Rooney. United have been mixing it, at times going short and at times hitting long balls down the centre, hoping to find Rooney. Rooney now for Carrick. Carrick, good ball to Fletcher on the edge of the area. Fletcher Giggs with a shot, saved by Shay Given. Moment of danger there for Manchester City. We'll hear from Chris and then we'll go to Pat Murphy.
Terrific save by Given there. It made it look very, very easy. Got all his angles right, straight at him, down to his left-hand side. But that was the threat. It's a terrific ball into Fletcher.
Well, let's go to the club who are definitely in the Carling Cup final. Aston Villa at home to Arsenal. Pat Murphy.
0-0 at half-time. Very tight game so far. Nothing from Fabregas at all until the last moment. He hit the inside of the post after a superb run, but most of the other chances, half chances at best, went to Villa. Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
Thank you, Pat. Remember Arsenal against Manchester United on Sunday in the Premier League. Lovely turn from Scholes now. United building in midfield. On to Carrick. Carrick to Rooney. Rooney just held up there by Boyata. Important interception. Now the young Belgians let it slip. Carrick's ball in. Rooney at full stretch. And Given has to be brave there. And Rooney acknowledges it as well. He pats Shay Given on the head. And that was really good build-up from Manchester United down this near side. Now it's half-time in the St Mirren Rangers game. Alison Walker.
St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Deja vu for St Mirren as Rangers score early. Stephen Davis starting and finishing the move in the second minute. Saints have threatened, but Rangers very alert and pretty comfortable at the back. 0-1 to Rangers.
Thank you very much indeed. Chris, we're getting moments of danger here, aren't we, from both sides?
Tevez nearly scored with a header, 5 minutes ago, but that was terrific play again. Carrick following it up. Great save again, Given.
Tevez now, typical buccaneering Tevez, holding the ball, denying the United players, and now Barry spreads the play to this near side. Garrido's there, nudges it down the line to Bellamy. Haven't seen a great deal of Bellamy so far, but now he's got away from Nani. Bellamy on to Barry, and a good ball from him to Garrido. Garrido's giving it away. I think he was expecting Barry to move on sharper to that one, but it's going to be a goal kick to Manchester United. And so we've got a half-time coming in now from Scunthorpe, and we'll go to Naz Prenju.
Scunthorpe United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Gary Hooper's 10th goal of the season separates these two strugglers. Mike, the Owls have played some crisp, free-flowing football, haven't really tested Joe Murphy at the break. Scunthorpe United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Thank you very much. This is really intriguing. You just sense that there's something around the corner here. We're just kind of building towards it, and it's a matter of when we're going to get there, really.
I'm looking at the game, and it's crying out, I think, for both sides to bring another striker on each. You can see maybe Adebayor coming on to partner Tevez, withdraw Tevez slightly, and you can see Rooney with Berbatov for me just coming on to make that extra striker, because that's what the game's needing. Basically, they're cancelling each other out at the moment.
Evans, that's a nice ball. We'll go to Newcastle a moment. Evans finds Evra, who loves to go forward, of course, down that left-hand side. It's gone into the midfield area now, and Scholes hardly wasted a ball so far. Scholes, Carrick, tall, composed, just gives, having said that, just horribly gave the ball away to Barry. Barry sent it forward very early, and Ferdinand's in position with the back pass to find Edwin van der Sar. So to Newcastle, Peter Slater.
Newcastle leading Palace 1-0. For all the problems off the field, don't forget the Palace playing well on it, and they've shown that, but luck isn't with them. Andy Carroll's header in the 19th minute, deflecting off Palace defender Sean Derry past Peroni for an own goal. Half-time at St James's, Newcastle 1, Palace 0.
Well, we've got a famous former Celtic player sitting just behind us, Brian McClare, now very much of Manchester Manchester United. Let's find news of Celtic now from Brian McLaughlin.
Oh, how they could do with them. Celtic 1, Hibs 1. Celtic dominating early on. Marc-Antoine Fortuny scoring after 4 minutes. Hibs creeping back into the game though, and Anthony Stokes equalised with a header after 26 minutes. Celtic 1, Hibs 1.
Thank you very much. Here at Old Trafford, 0-0 between these two great City rivals, City and United. Lovely ball from Barry now to Wright Phillips, who's come across to the left, ready for about the first time, and he's tackled by Scholes, and Raphael clears smoothly to Nani. Immediately 4 City players around Nani, and that really is part of what they're doing here, to deny Manchester United their rhythm and their flow. So they go to the left hand side once more. Evra and Giggs now linking up. Giggs looking to try and find Rooney, but that's a really poor ball by his standards. It's easily cut out by Boyata, and City now build once more, and Scholes with a typical Scholes challenge, I'm afraid. Nowhere near the ball, brings down Shaun Wright-Phillips, and Howard Webb finally runs out of patience after 35 minutes, and the first yellow card of the evening goes to Paul Scholes.
Well, it's Paul Scholes' trademark, isn't it? Silly challenges gets him silly yellow cards. No need to do anything. Shaun Wright-Phillips is just going to roll it back to the centre half. It's not going anywhere. Silly yellow card.
For about the 250th time in his career, I would think. We hardly ever see a game go by without one of those from Paul Scholes, but then having said all that, he counterbalances that by some of the most brilliant passing, brilliant vision from central midfield, picking out players left and right, and now it's a big up and under clearance from Michael Carrick, and it should be headed back by De Jong. In fact, it's been headed backwards by De Jong, but Boyata is beaten in the air by Fletcher, and so De Jong put his side under it, and he acknowledges that too, puts his hand up, put his side under a little bit of pressure, and City now move once more from inside their own half with Kompany. Kompany, that's a poor one from him. Both sides showing a little bit of edge at times here. Now can Scholes measure this pass to the feet of Giggs. Giggs now looking for Evra to help him out over on the left-hand side. United 0, City 0. Still 2-1 to City from the first leg. Evra again joining in down that left-hand side. Giggs is behind him. Giggs taking on 2 or 3 City players, going down under the second challenge which came around, and here's a set piece, and the ball is thrown down by Zabaleta, inviting a yellow card from Howard Webb, who's at the moment showing to be quite tolerant over on the far side. It's a free kick to Manchester United, and it's a chance now for Ferdinand and Evans to try and get on the end of it.
Well, the deliveries haven't been very good so far. Nani's coming across to talk with Giggs. Will Nani be swinging it in with his right foot towards the goal?
Big moment in the game, maybe. 37 minutes gone in the first half. 0-0. City looking quite tidy at the moment, still leading by the 2-1 from the Eastland Stadium last week, but now free kick to Manchester United, which Nani is going to take. Nani's big high kick headed away by Richards for Manchester City. Bellamy on the edge of the area controls an awkward ball well. Bellamy now uses Garrido and Barry rather, and City survive another potentially awkward moment, and then City give the ball straight back to Manchester United, and Raphael feeds goalkeeper Van der Sar. In League 2, a half-time score is Burton 1, Lincoln 0. Scottish Premier League half-time, United 0, St Johnstone 2, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0, and Hearts 0, Aberdeen 1. Here, still waiting for the first significant moment of the game, really. 0-0 between United and City as Raphael plays the ball off Bellamy, who's not happy about something, and it's going to be a United throw.
Is he ever happy? But it's not that. You just can't get out. When United play high and put the back four under pressure in the midfield, they're just hitting hopeless balls up front. Tevez is never going to win them.
A great volley there by Scholes again to find Evra. United still look the more businesslike going forward. Ball played in by Scholes towards Nani. Garrido does well, the left back. Troublesome position for City, it has been the left back position. And now City clear. Barry trying to hold off Carrick, the two England colleagues, and Carrick just bundles Barry out of play, and the referee Howard Webb decides to blow and give the free kick. But what do you think?
Well, that was never a free kick. Gareth Barry lost possession and rolled out of play, basically dived.
Well, we could have the possibility of Gareth Barry playing against Aston Villa. He'll get a great reception too, I'm sure, from the Villa fans at Wembley in the final on the last day of February. But at the moment, that is the way it's going to be. Unless United can find some goals from somewhere, we're going to have a City-Villa final. Two sides long overdue a trophy. Long ball now from Nigel de Jong. Again, a lot of the passing is going astray here, and Evans now is pushed by Wright Phillips, and it's a bit scrappy at the moment. It's a free kick.
Why do people give silly free kicks away? Where's he going, Johnny Evans? The best pass he had was a left foot back to Van der Sar. No problem, so why give a silly free kick away?
Free kick is just nudged off to Rio Ferdinand, who's playing tonight. If you haven't heard the news today, he has decided to appeal against the FA charge, which is coming his way tomorrow now, and he may get it increased to another game. That was the risk, that was the gamble, and now Rio Ferdinand's long ball down the centre of the City defence. Well headed away by Boyata. Fletcher can't gather it in midfield. Boyata did particularly well then City overrun it, and United have possession again over on the left. Almost a stumble by Evra. Now he's got the ball at his feet. But City have got so many players back to deny United space. It's into the centre with Giggs. Rooney's pass was too short. Zabaleta cuts it out. Play on, says the referee. Looked like it could have been a foul there by Paul Scholes, but the referee continues the game. And it's Raphael, but there's no room, there's no space for Manchester United. Crowded out once more by City. But the problem with City is they're getting so many players back that when they break, they've got nothing downfield, as Bellamy skipped around the challenge from Raphael, who left his foot in. Howard Webb's going to book him for it, I think.
Well, he's going to have a chat with him. I don't know about that. It was nice to see him actually pick up on Zabaleta a couple of minutes ago. Did go down very easily looking for a free kick. He waved it on. I mean, what is Raphael? He's very impetuous. I think he's got so much to learn about defending, and that is why he's a weak link with the Man United back four.
He's trying to show great understanding here, Howard Webb, of the occasion and everything else. The only player he's booked, it was no other alternative with Paul Scholes. It was a please book me challenge written all over it. But anyway, it's a free kick to City, and United just haven't really been consistent enough in this first half to offer a major threat to City. Roberto Mancini overall will be quite happy containing Manchester United and his team working really hard all the time to deny United the time and the space. And now Carrick, and it really is stopping too many times, but that's not bad from the City point of view. Free kick is taken and United look for some space over on the left hand side, because there certainly isn't any space down the centre. Evra once more on to Rooney. Rooney trying to get away from his markers. Rooney now towards Nani. Nani volleys it straight in. Boyata's there with a big clearance up in the air for Manchester City, and the clearance completed by Kompany. United still with possibilities. 3 minutes left in the first half. Scholes against Tevez. Scholes has lost it, so too has Tevez, and it's back with Rio Ferdinand once more. Ferdinand, this one's going to go down the centre towards Nani. Garrido heads it away. Fletcher will try and get there first. Juggling with the ball down the right, up against Barry. Barry with half an interception. In comes the second one, and it's still in play somehow. I think they thought that was going out for a corner. It's still bouncing around as Garrido and Barry almost make a mess of it, and then the linesman comes to City's rescue and flags against Manchester United and gives City a free kick.
Well, there's a lot of players really pumped up now, aren't there? Fletcher, Barry, Bellamy, but Fletcher there for me is just chasing the ball. Barry holding him off, and it was a good battle. He should have let it run there after. It was a linesman, I know, who flagged, but they should have let it run. It was a good tussle.
Well, the first man to come off the United bench is Mike Phelan, Alex Ferguson's assistant, just trying to coax the side through the last couple of minutes. Always vital moments coming up to half-time. United 0, City 0. Still in this second leg of the Carling Cup semi-final. Remember, Chelsea are leading 2-0 against Birmingham, and it's 0-0 between Villa and Arsenal. Now it's Zabaleta for City. Good control from Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips takes his shot early, and it's an easy save for Van der Sar. Comfortable and a good throw out in the end to find the captain Giggs over on the left. Giggs looking for Evra. Evra faced by De Jong. Tries to get it forward, and that final pass missing occasionally when United break forward. But really can't keep on mentioning so many times here how hard City are working all the time to fill all the spaces when United do try and get forward. Scholes now on a bit of a knife edge with this yellow card as Ferdinand wins the ball in the air. Again, a high ball down the centre towards Rooney, but it's only as far as Kompany. Fletcher jumping well, but City always seem to have a man there in midfield. It's nicely played by Barry to Richards. Now Richards gets attacking down that right-hand side and gets the ball onto Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips against Scholes, but it's Evans who makes the challenge, and City have a throw.
I think United's dominated possession, but City always look threatening. When they get it down, they get it to the feet of Tevez or Wright Phillips or Bellamy. They do look very, very threatening.
Throw-in taken by City. Evra nudges it away from the danger zone. And Carrick now for Raphael. One more chance maybe for Manchester United now to go forward. Foul by Bellamy on Raphael. That's quite a contest, those two. It was Raphael, remember, who was adjudged to have conceded the penalty in the first game, though the challenge seemed to be outside of the penalty area. The first challenge on Bellamy. Free kick is taken with 30 seconds of normal time to go here. 0-0. Can either of these two sides get a real advantage before half-time as Ferdinand now sweeps the ball to the left-hand side of the field. On to Giggs. Rooney's waiting. Giggs going away from Richards, taking on the former England player again. But Richards is too strong there for Giggs. And Richards not only dispossesses Ryan Giggs, he's got himself a free kick as well. And the fourth official now shows only 1 minute of added time.
Well, it's a good battle, Giggs and Richards. For me, I'd put Narni on the left and I'd get Giggs out to Garrido. Narni, he's worked hard, but he's never really got the ball down and got at Garrido. And I think Giggs would be more effective on this right-hand side. Richards very strong, very quick, not giving Giggs much time to run at him.
Given to take the kick. And with 40 seconds of added time here at Old Trafford. The ball downfield doesn't reach Tevez. Everett and Ferdinand trying to take care of business, and now it's with Scholes. It's given back though to Evans, and now swept towards the halfway line. And Nani's header on. Company should get there first against Rooney, and he does. And City are actually looking pretty composed at the moment. The initiative and the onus is very much on Manchester United to come out in the second half if they're going to get through to the final here, because at the moment City still have that lead given to them by Carlos Tevez in the first match. We've 5 seconds of added time to go. Wright Phillips jumping with Everett on the far side. Howard Webb has now looked at his watch for the first time, and time is up here after 45 minutes at Old Trafford. We're exactly where we were 45 minutes ago. It's 0-0, and not too many questions answered in that first half. 0-0, Mark.
Well, the first thing to say is that the atmosphere is just what we wanted, the atmosphere of old, if you like, a bear pit of noise and intensity and passion. But Chris, can you really see City being able to hold out if they carry on playing this system for a second 45 minutes?
Well, he's going to turn around and say so far so good, but Gibbons made 2 or 3 good saves, but Van der Sar's made a couple as well. Don't forget that. They've looked threatening on the break when it gets to Tevez's feet or Bellamy or Wright Phillips. But both teams are crying out for an extra striker. Somebody who can get the foot on the ball. Adi Bayor can release a bit of pressure with his height, his presence, and also Berbatov for me, who could just play in that little pocket behind the midfield and really could create a bit for Rooney, who's really worked hard, but he's had to make his own chances.
So far so good for Manchester City then. Half-time here at Old Trafford, it's 0-0, so City 2-1 in front on aggregate, with the second half to come here live from Old Trafford. So 8 o'clock start. Let's go to Goodison and get the latest news from Everton Sunderland from Jackie Oatley.
Half-time is Everton 2, Sunderland 0. Everton dominant, and they could have scored more. Sunderland once again disorganised at the back, and they've created very little. The goals from Cahill in the 7th minute, a back-flicked header, and Donovan on 19 minutes, a fine strike from the edge of the box after Cahill knocked down Baines' high ball. And Sunderland very poor, so poor in fact that Steve Bruce brought on Kenwyne Jones for Richardson after just 25 minutes. He almost pulled one back in added time at the end of the half, but he managed to sky Zenden's cross high and wide. Everton 2, Sunderland 0.
And half-time at Ewood Park, Dave Woods.
Well, Blackburn are leading Wigan by 1-0, and on balance deserve as well. They'd hit the post in the 4th minute through Nikola Kalinic before taking the lead in the 19th. Brett Emerton's free kick floated to the edge of the penalty area inadvisedly. Vladimir Stojkovic is on his debut in the Premier League and for Wigan tonight in goal. Came to the edge of a very crowded penalty area. Very little touch on the ball. It fell for Morten Gamps Pedersen, who simply lashed it home from 30 yards, curling it in. And Blackburn have had the better of the chances. They lead 1-0 at half-time.
Just started the second half at Stamford Bridge. It seems, Ian Dennis, very straightforward for Chelsea so far.
It is indeed, absolutely, Mark. They lead Birmingham City by 2-0. It took them just 6 minutes to get up and running. Joe Cole from the cross from the right, chipped into the penalty area. Soft goal for Birmingham to concede. Where was the marking for Malouda? Unmarked inside the 6-yard box for an easy header past Joe Hart. Carvalho has hit the post. They created several chances. Basically, Birmingham have been chasing, unable to retain possession, and Chelsea have just been playing around them with Deco at the base of their midfield, just prompting throughout. And then they scored their second goal, which came as no surprise. Ballack's square ball to Lampard, super goal, controlled it with his left foot, about 25 yards out, hit it straight away then with his right into the bottom left-hand corner, and Chelsea look like they're heading back towards the top of the Premier League. They lead by 2-0.
And Aston Villa against Arsenal, all to play for as the second half starts, Pat Murphy.
Yes, we just started the second half. It's a very, very tight game, this one. There's Friedel, a little error there. The ball ping-pongs around the Villa penalty area. That might have gone in. Just before half-time, Fabregas has been very quiet, showed his quality. He left Petrov for dead. Twisted blood almost, Petrov had. He shimmied past him, hit the inside of the post. But that's been Arsenal's main chance. I think they've shown Villa rather too much respect, particularly wary, I think, of Agbonlaho's speed. And especially now that Campbell's come on the substitute for Vermaelen, that's going to be the case even more so. I think Villa need to play on Campbell, utilising the speed of Agbonlahor. It's Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
Into the Championship, Newcastle Crystal Palace getting underway there in the second half. Peter Slater.
Yeah, Newcastle leading Palace 1-0. They've not been that impressive, I have to say. They scored with an own goal from Sean Derry of Palace. Andy Carroll's header deflected past Julian Speroni, but really Palace have had good chances of their own. None better than when Nick Carl's cross from the left was headed just wide by Butterfield. I think Newcastle need to improve. Both sides have lost players. Johannes Oertel of Palace didn't last a minute, and Newcastle lost their influential left-back Jose Enrique. Newcastle 1, Palace 0.
And Scunthorpe Sheffield Wednesday, news from Naz Premji.
Yes, Mark, a minute into the second period, Scunthorpe United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Gary Hooper's 10th goal of the season, separating these two, and the Owls have started like they finished the first half. Good, crisp, free-flowing football, just trying to get an equaliser here. Grant McCann could have made it 2 for the home side. His long-range effort tipped over expertly by Lee Grant. Still, Scunthorpe United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
League 2, Burton 1, Lincoln 0. Blue Square Premier, Histon 0, Luton 0 to the SPL, and Brian McLaughlin at Celtic.
Yes, 3 minutes into the second half, Mark, still Celtic 1, Hibs 1. Home side really out the traps early on. Marc-Antoine Fortune scoring after just 4 minutes, and Georges Samaras, Niall McGinn and Aidan McGeady all passed out glorious chances for a second for Celtic before Anthony Stokes equalised for Hibs after 26 minutes with a header. That is 14th goal of the season. Celtic will feel harsh done by. They had a second goal in the back of the net just on half time. Referee Ian Brinzo blew for an infringement against Samaras, and indeed Celtic had another chance within a minute of the restart. Marc-Antoine Fortuny drew the attention of 4 defenders before slipping the ball to McGeady, who fired wise. Still Celtic 1, Hibs 1.
And Alison Walker's watching St Mirren against Rangers.
Yep, they've played a couple of minutes of the second half. Half time was St Mirren 0, Rangers 1, and that's how it stands. Rangers leading from that second minute goal from Stephen Davis. A well worked move. He started it off and finished it as well. He had a brilliant first half, in fact. It's a chance for St Mirren. It's just wide. Anyway, Davis could have had another, but for a great save from Paul Galka. Still only 1 goal in it.
It's Dundee United 0, St Johnstone 2, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0, and Craig Brown is going to stay at Motherwell till the end of the season. Hearts 0, Aberdeen 1, First Division Arbroath 0, East Fife 0, and Scottish Cup 4th round replay, Airdrie United 1, Wraith Rovers 2. 0-0 here between United and City at half-time in the second leg of the Carling Cup semi-final, so Manchester City 2-1 in front. If you want Aston Villa against Arsenal commentary, it's live on Sports Extra. 0-0 the last time we heard from Pat Murphy.
Villa should have scored a moment ago. Stuart Downing 3 yards out at the far post from Ashley Young's cross. It was deflected by Gallas. He's not a natural header of the ball, Downing. Should have done better, but it's still Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
And Dundee United have pulled the goal back at home for St Johnstone. John Daly after 52 minutes. Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 2, 6 minutes to 9. Here's Richard Foster with the news.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
An 18-year-old has been arrested following a shooting on Merseyside. A 17-year-old, named locally as Lewis O'Brien, was shot in Huyton, around 4 miles from Liverpool city centre, just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. Tony Blair's most senior legal advisor, Lord Goldsmith, has dismissed claims that he was pressured into saying the invasion of Iraq would be legal. The former Attorney General told the Chilcot inquiry that he changed his mind just before the war. The bodies of 2 young children have been found in a car in East Sussex. A woman who's 43 has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Cigarette displays are being banned in Scotland. The new law is aimed at reducing the number of young people who take up smoking. And we finally know what Apple's latest computer is going to be called. The iPad has been unveiled in San Francisco. It's a bit like an iPhone and can be used to read books, watch films, play games and browse the web.
Sport away from the live action tonight. Reading have confirmed Brian McDermott as their manager this evening on a rolling 12-month deal. Defender Michael Dawson signed a new contract with Tottenham, taking him through to 2015. Burnley have signed Leon Court from Stoke for £1.5 million on a 3.5-year contract. and the former Manchester City goalkeeper Nicky Weaver for the rest of the season. And the former Scotland manager Craig Brown, as I just mentioned, has agreed to stay on as Motherwell manager till at least the end of the season. England fast bowler Chris Tremlett left Hampshire to join Surrey on a 3-year deal, and Roger Federer will play Joe-Wilfried Tsonga for a place in the final of the Australian Open. Federer beat Nikolai Davydenko from a set and a breakdown. Tsonga won a 5-setter against Novak Djokovic, getting revenge for his defeat in the final 3 years ago. Afterwards, the Serb Djokovic said his chances were damaged by a stomach bug, but that didn't cut much ice with the winner.
It happens. You have some problems. I think this is the game. Sometimes you have a problem with your forehand, sometimes with your backhand, sometimes with your body, you know. So today he had a problem with his stomach, I think at the beginning of the third set, and that's it. And it's good for me, it's bad for him.
And tomorrow, Andy Murray against Marin Cilic. The whole match on 5 Live from 8:30 tomorrow morning. You can watch it on BBC Two as well, and on our sports website. So that very much to look forward to tomorrow morning here on 5 Live.
And on to the travel in Hampshire. The southbound M3 has a lane closed between junctions 7 and 8, Basingstoke and Andover. There's been an accident involving a car and a lorry there. Traffic's queuing to get past them. On the M62 in West Yorkshire, the westbound carriageway has one lane shut. That's between junctions 27 and 26, Gildersham and Chain Bar. It's all because of a breakdown. And in Cambridgeshire, the A428 is closed in both directions. It's at Elterslie, and that's due to an accident. Richard Foster, 5 Live Travel.
Weekdays 12 till 2. Gabby Logan.
We're always going to start the show with the big news story, getting people's emotions going and hearing from them. Actually, yeah, we've done the right thing here. This is a story that people are really interested in, getting riled enough about something that they want to contribute, excited about something, you know, they want to share a story with us, whether it's a personal anecdote. To hear from them is so important. It's what makes the show. It's the glue that binds the show together. That mixture is what makes us sound so different.
Gabby Logan.
Weekdays 12 till 2 on 5 Live.
Hearts 0, Aberdeen 2 in Scotland. Hister 0, Luton 1 in the conference. And Tony Livesey coming up at 10:30. Tony, what do you got this evening?
Mark, good evening. What a great sporting night. We're going to have reaction to the United City game. We'll have top sports writers, celebrity fans. Also, intriguingly, we're going to hear from the United fans who believe they found the investment that's going to help them buy out the Glazers. We'll be asking, should you stay in a relationship because of the kids? Discussing why handshakes are out of fashion. We'll be looking ahead to President Obama's State of the Union address. And today, I kid you not, I have met the man who's never lived. I've met the man who's never been to Asda and the man who's never seen E.T. So I'll be asking listeners, what everyday thing have they never done?
Tony, stop listening now, because I'm going to talk about away goals in the Carling Cup semi-final.
I'm in a trauma because of Bolton last night. I'm still in a trauma and counselling after Tottenham last season.
We spoke to Owen Coyle. We spoke to Owen Coyle last night, Tony, and he took it on his broad back about the Judas chants and so forth. But I put it to him that the one about he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. He thought that was genuinely funny. And whoever produced that banner amongst the Burnley fans should take a bow.
I've been on a message board today, and the guys who made it were on there saying that it was theirs, and it is clever, and that's the best way in football to deal with a crisis: humour.
Absolutely. And as he said,
you know what, they did a t-shirt as well, Mark, and it said, "We'll never forget you, Ewan Coyle," and I thought that was good as well.
That's great, a little bit of humour, as Tony says. Thanks, Tony. 10:30. Right, Tony suffered as a Burnley fan on this time last year on the away goals, so let us just reiterate: 2-1. If it's level, away goals don't count till after extra time. Some relatives nodding like my teacher when I finally got
any aggregate score that's level. There's no away goals after 90 minutes, only at the end of extra time. 2-1 after extra time would mean penalties.
I tell you who, we are literally next to the director's box here, which is by no means full. Interestingly, we can see Hargreaves and John O'Shea and people. Gary Owen is in there as well. He was a very good midfielder for West Brom and Manchester City. He coached me a little bit once as well. He was a good player, Gary Owen, wasn't he, Chris Waddle?
Obviously you didn't listen, but yeah, he was a very good midfielder. I think he had about 120 under 21 caps on it. He just even played with under 21 for 20 years, and but yeah, very good, technically very good.
I tell you who else has been in there: Chris Smalling, who is en route from Fulham to Manchester United in a white tracksuit. I saw him play last night for Fulham at Tottenham. He's been signing a few autographs as well. Right, OK, who makes the first move here in terms of the managers and substitutions?
Well, it's probably Man United at the moment. See how the game's going. I think you know, you've got to say Mancini would be quite happy the way they've defended. I think the problem for Man United is it's getting the service and decent service to Wayne Rooney. He's had to basically work his own opportunities, and I don't think you can do that. I think ideal choice for me would be, I'd like to see Giggs come on the right against Garrido, and I'd also, maybe you'll have to sacrifice Scholes, who had a yellow card, even though he's passing the ball very well, but you've somehow got to get Berbatov alongside Wayne Rooney if you want to get a goal and win this game.
There were a couple of times in certainly early on where Rooney was just spinning off into that sort of inside left channel, wasn't he? And Giggs was finding him. But even there, after that, Manchester City seemed to twig that's maybe where he's going to spin off into that.
Well, if you look, if Giggs is probably the only one in that 5 across who naturally wants to join in and come inside and go alongside Rooney at times. But, you know, if you look at the 3 midfield players they've got, Scholes is sitting in front of the back 4. It's not really Fletcher's game, and it's not really Carrick's game to go and join in with Rooney and get in the box. Narni's played very, very wide on the right. He needs help, Wayne Rooney. You know, you keep talking about can he do it on his own. Yeah, he got 4 against Hull, but he needs decent service. And at the minute, I always think he plays better when he plays with Berbatov.
Latest scores in the Premier League: Blackburn 1, Wigan 0, Everton 2, Sunderland 0, Chelsea in cruise control at home to Birmingham, leading by 2-0, and Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. It's live on Sports Extra. If it stays like this, Chelsea are going to be top this evening. Aston Villa against Arsenal, a tight game as you would imagine. And Celtic 1, Hibs 1 as well, and Rangers winning in Scotland. Newcastle winning at home against Crystal Palace, for whom Victor Moses not permitted by the administrator to play this evening. That's the PA announcer welcoming Manchester United back onto the field. They need to get a goal from somewhere, otherwise Mike Summerby down below us here and everybody connected with Manchester City could dream of Wembley for the first time since 1981, when you probably weren't even a teenager, Simon.
Short trousers and all that.
Short trousers. In fact, the last time they were in a cup final was before Lady Di and Prince Charles got married. That's how long ago it is.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, well, there are going to be a lot of ways to put it if they hang on like this. Anyway, United are out, City on their way. It's all yours, Simon.
United are out, perhaps with a little flea in their ear from their manager. It's a very big 45 minutes for Manchester United here. Their City's ambition, though, to be the biggest and best football club in the world, according to their executive chairman Gary Cook. A Carling Cup final appearance at the expense of their fiercest rivals would do the club's fans for now. They're 45 minutes away from achieving that. Manchester United out early for the start of the second half, and looking around, Chris Waddle, it doesn't look as if they're going to make any changes.
No, but they've come out very brisk, good run up to the lane, and they're all ready and raring to go. I'm sure you'll see a very high tempo from Manchester United this opening 10-15 minutes, and if they haven't got it, they haven't got the goal they've been looking for, they'll think you will see Mr. Berbatov come on.
Manchester United, a bit like a heavyweight boxing champion, cornered by the challenger in a difficult situation, up against the ropes. Can they find the knockout punch to prove what great champions they are once again?
If you remember this game last week as well, the last 15 minutes of the 90, they were hanging on, City, and I mean literally hanging on. Their fitness, obviously, they've put a lot of work into it, which they have tonight. They've worked hard again. Can they get the fitness right through the 90 this time?
Manchester City now out for the second half as well. No changes by either manager at half-time. It's as you were, and we're almost ready to go. United with Van der Sar in goal. Then at the back it's Raphael, Ferdinand, Evans and Evra. In midfield, Scholes, Fletcher and Carrick, with Nani and Giggs providing support to Wayne Rooney. Manchester City, Shea Given in goal. Across the back, Richards, Kompany, Boyata and Garrido. Then De Jong, Barry and Zabaleta. Wright, Phillips, Bellamy and Tevez. And the second half is underway. Manchester City in the sky blue shirts, white shorts, white socks. United red shirts with the black V across the chest, white shorts and black socks. Manchester City defending the Stretford end, which means as we look, they're kicking from left to right, kicking towards the end where their 9,000 supporters are watching, trying to suck the ball into the back of the net to give them what would be a 3-1 lead on aggregate. 0-0 on the night here on 5 Live Sport. And the ball has, I think, no, it hasn't gone out of play. City on the attack. Bellamy has it down towards the byline. He's beaten Raphael. In comes the ball, volleyed away on the 6-yard line by Johnny Evans, and out of play on the far side.
Well, they all waited for the linesman to put his flag up. He didn't. Bellamy carried on, and he got past Raphael so easy again to the byline. Nobody attacking the near post. Nobody really in the box in a blue shirt.
Chipped forward down the left-hand side by Gareth Barry once more. Raphael under pressure from Craig Bellamy hooks the ball away into the air, headed forward by De Jong into space in midfield where Scholes collects it unopposed, and then it's flicked with the outside of the left boot by Giggs towards the left-hand side. Rooney runs into trouble. He runs into Richards, tries to grab him rugby union style, but away goes Richards. Down the right-hand side, he's got Tevez with him. Richards up to the edge of the area. Richards, oh, brilliant save by Van der Sar, and it had to be. Richards ran, and when he reached the edge of the penalty area, he really let fly, and Edwin van der Sar made a superb save.
That was an absolute top-class save, and great run by Richards. Rooney still feeling the slight fall he had, as he cut inside on his left foot, really. Going in the top corner, fantastic left-handed save. Pushes it away for the corner, Van der Sar. Great save.
That's kept Manchester United in this tie at the start of the second half here. 0-0 on the night at Old Trafford. Manchester United have to score a goal. Otherwise, Manchester City are going to Wembley. Bellamy then with the corner for City on the right-hand side. A right-footed outswinger. Here it comes, the header from Richards. It's blocked by Tevez, of all people, 5 yards out. Giggs can't clear. Goes back into the area. Richards can't get there. Loose again. Right-hand edge of the box. Bellamy fires it in. A little bit of a skew on the ball, but straight into the arms of Van der Sar.
I'll tell you what, Richards, free header, should have scored.
Manchester United break. Sorry, Chris. United up to the halfway line, and they've given the ball away again, and Tevez goes in and challenges Raphael. The flag up on the near side, acknowledged by the referee, Howard Webb, who allows play to go on. But a rather unsteady start here as Raphael goes in on Tevez. Or did Tevez go in on Raphael?
I've got to say, I don't think Tevez did anything wrong. I think Raphael played for it. I think he's got...
I think Tevez has been booked there, and yes. I think he's my initial impression was that actually it wasn't Tevez who caused the problem there necessarily.
Well, Raphael kept it in, and then Tevez just slid across, and Raphael went over his leg and rolled around, but he's got up now and he's all right.
Raphael has made a 3-course meal out of that, and actually there was nothing wrong with it. There have been words between one or two of the players, but actually I think that, like you said, Chris, Tevez just slid in and pushed the ball out of play. And
I don't think he's done anything wrong.
But, no, I don't either, but he's been booked though.
The crowd obviously like to see Tevez punished, and they got the reward, so I think the referee should have just went over and had a chat.
Rio Ferdinand having a chat with Howard Webb as Edwin van der Sar prepares to take the kick away on the right-hand side. About 10 yards, 12 yards outside the penalty area. Van der Sar in a bright yellow jersey and black shorts, yellow socks, clears the ball right-footed, high and long, down the right wing, met by the head of Javier Garrido, breaks loose in midfield, midway inside the City half, and Scholes with the ball into space on the left, where Patrice Evra, wearing a long-sleeve jersey with black woolly gloves, finds Giggs in short sleeves. Giggs goes down towards the corner flag, and Richards, who physically looks as strong as you would expect him to. I mean, he's an imposing player, he's an athletic young player, but it's only in the last month or two that he's really started to show the sort of form again that we expect.
Ryan Giggs can get past him, but he can't get away from him, and that's the difference.
Ferdinand sprays it to that left-hand side again. It's Giggs up against Shaun Wright-Phillips. Giggs with the ball into the penalty area. Richards heads it to the edge of the box. De Jong is there on the volley, clears it up towards Tevez. Beaten to it by Johnny Evans. Ball goes up in the air. Barry forward. Tevez inside the centre circle. Controls it first time. Just wheedles his way clear of about 3 United players and feeds it to the left-hand side, and Garrido forward along the ground now towards Bellamy. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Tackled by Raphael. Ball goes behind, and it's Manchester City's ball, and I think it's gone for a corner.
There's a cracking atmosphere, isn't it? There's a few things being thrown at Craig Bellamy on that far side. I just saw
Bellamy there holds the back of his head, and another thing has come in and hit Bellamy. I think he's been hit by 2 or 3 objects, and Bellamy is on the floor. There's a bottle lying on the floor next to Craig Bellamy, who is on the floor on his hands and knees holding the back of his head. Now that's the ugly side of this derby match that we did not want to see, and Van der Sar comes across to remonstrate with some Manchester United fans and to suggest to them in no uncertain terms that they really need to behave themselves.
Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Let's be honest. I know there's a lot of rivalry, but let the footballers, a coin hits him on the back of the head, and there's a few other objects came flying over the top as well, I think. But
well, there was a bottle the first time that landed near him, and as he acknowledged that, it was clearly, as you say, Chris, a silver coin that ricocheted off the back of his head.
Well, Gareth Barry's given it to the referee, and it's a corner. But you've got to say, on the football side, City started the second half absolutely fantastic tempo.
And now that unsavoury little incident has passed us by, and Bellamy's fine. He's back on his feet on the edge of the penalty area, and Manchester City have taken the corner. Over it comes, it bobbles into the penalty area, cleared away by Paul Scholes. 0-0 on the night, 2-1 to City on aggregate. Manchester United, the holders, have to score, otherwise they're going out, and City are going to Wembley. Good ball by Rooney, in towards Giggs. Giggs up to the edge of the penalty area. He's round Shea Given. Given now goes back to the goal line. Giggs on the right, headed to the box, plays it back into Nani. Nani's 10 yards out. Onto the floor he goes, breaks loose, Scholes with a shot. Paul Scholes scores for Manchester United. Old Trafford erupts here. 6 minutes into the second half. 1-0 Manchester United lead on the night. It's 2-2 on aggregate, and it really is game on here in this semi-final.
This is all about, for me, it's Wayne Rooney when he picks this ball up on the halfway line. He had no right to turn De Jong onto his right foot. What an absolute delightful diagonal ball to Giggs. He spotted him running, inch perfect. Giggs touched very good, but he didn't panic Giggs when he couldn't get round Given. Takes his time, drops his shoulder. Bit of a scramble after, and he picks it up, got to say. But there's a slight deflection of Scholes, but it's in the bottom corner. Game on.
Well, we really are set up nicely now. It really will be some second half as Scholes finds the bottom corner of the net at the Stretford end. And now the Manchester United fans are in full voice. Ball on the halfway line. Fletcher goes up, almost kicks Richards in the face there as Richards dives in to try and head the ball. Certainly wasn't any ill intent on Fletcher's part. And the noise level has just gone up about another 20 decibels here.
We saw the benefit of replay. Strike by Scholes, heavily deflected by Zabaleta.
Ball out of play on the far side. It's a Manchester City throw. 1-0 Manchester United lead on the night. It is 2-2 on aggregate. So if it stays like this, we would have extra time. If it stays like this after extra time, Manchester United would win on the away goals rule, having scored last week at Eastlands in the first leg. That's the situation here, as Wright Phillips can't get away down the right-hand side. And it's Manchester United's fault.
That's a clear foul. The first one was, and the second one was. How many challenges does he need? Good bit of skill by Wright Phillips.
Nearly 8 minutes played in the second half here in the Premier League. Villa 0, Arsenal 0, Blackburn 1, Wigan 0, Chelsea 2, Birmingham 0. If it stays like that, Chelsea top tonight, Everton 2, Sunderland 0. Manchester United attack down the right-hand side with Nani. Nani taking on Garrido. He's away from him. Ball in with the left foot. Half headed away by Vincent Kompany. Carrick's in there. Garrido comes back, gets in ahead of Carrick, has the ball, plays it short to Kompany. Manchester City trying to pass their way out in that left full-back position. Finally they do, as Zabaleta finds Bellamy. Short ball inside, 10 yards short of the halfway line towards Gareth Barry. Back out to Bellamy once again. He's marked closely by Fletcher. Ball played inside towards De Jong, and City stringing a few passes together here. Richards, his shirt with mud all down the front of it, finds Wright Phillips on the near side, then takes the return ball. City slowly moving into the United half, and Wright Phillips just waiting for the ball to come, and it didn't have the legs to reach him. And Evra goes chasing away down the left-hand side, sliding in his Boyata, makes the tackle, and the throw-in has gone Manchester City's way, deep inside their own half.
I think our word got it right, good position. Cracking game now, and it's City, you've got to come out. And Wes Brown's warming up for Manchester United. I just wonder if they're looking at that with Raphael. That's where they're getting their joy, down that left-hand side with Bellamy.
Well, I suppose the other thing as well is that Roberto Mancini might be able to think of making a change. It was always unlikely that he would do anything in an attacking sense all the time that his team was still in front overall. If he made an attacking change and it backfired, he'd never hear the end of it. But now, of course, City do need to do something here. Manchester United in possession. Patrice Evra, left-hand side. Forward towards Giggs. Giggs is level with the edge of the penalty area. Dangerous ball in towards the centre. Fletcher slid in for it. Rooney has the ball, left-hand side, just outside the box. Brilliant control. Flicks it into the edge of the 6-yard box. Cleared away, firstly by Boyata, and now by Wright Phillips, who plays it along the ground, away to the left-hand side. And Bellamy goes scuttling away. He's got support outside him from Garrido, but Bellamy's still going. He's midway inside the United half, and beyond that, Garrido on the overlap, tries to get the cross in. He's tackled by Raphael, and it goes behind for a City corner.
We've just got to keep getting the ball out to Bellamy. What he's good at, even if he's not getting past Raphael, he's running the Man United defence back and back onto the 18-yard box, and this turn them out of corner.
Manchester City aiming for their first major final in 29 years. They had a slender one-goal advantage coming into this game from the first leg. It's been wiped out now by that goal from Paul Scholes 7 minutes into the second half. Manchester City with a corner on the left-hand side. Over it comes. Up goes Richards. He's got springs in his heels. He got up high above everybody else, and Howard Webb thought he did so illegally.
Well, you will have if you put your hands on somebody's shoulder to use the
only thing that was missing was the ladder that he used to climb on the Manchester United defence.
He's higher than the crossbar.
And it will be a free kick to the home side as United fans around all sides of the stadium here get behind their team. Taken short by Van der Sar, forward towards Rio Ferdinand, and away to the right-hand side, and the young Brazilian Rafael rolls it forward to Nani. Nani with a short ball. Rafael infield now towards Carrick. Midway inside the Manchester City half. United lead 1-0 on the night. It's 2-2 on aggregate. As it stands, it would be extra time. But if it stays like this after extra time, United would win on away goals. A place in the final at stake. Giggs forward, lovely ball. Left-hand angle of the penalty area. Fletcher can't get the cross in. Past Zabaleta. Breaks loose. Giggs again. Short ball to the left wing. And 15 yards from the corner flag. Evra tries to cross. It deflects off Richards. And United have another throw. Good spell here for them.
Good play by Giggs, getting it to Fletcher. Really should have done better.
Throw-in taken in towards the byline, and Giggs hooks it across. It didn't quite go out of play. Nani chases after it near the right-hand angle of the penalty area, brings the bouncing ball under control. Bellamy goes back to try and block his path. It's laid back now towards Rafael, moves in midfield now to Scholes. Scholes plays the ball up towards Rooney, just outside the area. Company slides in, it works out for Scholes. No, ball in towards Giggs, beaten away by Richards. Ball breaks loose, Fletcher tries a shot, hits Giggs, bounces away towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area on the byline, and cleared away out of play for United. Throw on the right.
Well, if you look at City, there's a few heads dropping, aren't they? They're chasing the game. They've put a lot of work in. I think it's one or two of them tiring. Mancini's got to start looking how he can change it.
Well, Adebayor is still warming up, and Manchester United are going to throw the kitchen sink and then some at Manchester City here in pursuit of victory. On the halfway line, it's forward now by Rio Ferdinand, up towards the edge of the box. Company stretches, tries to keep the ball away. We'll head to Ewood Park in just a moment, but this is a great spell for Manchester United. They're really putting the pressure on their City rivals here. Scholes evades the challenge of Zabaleta, feeds it to the near side, the left-hand side, and Evra faced by Wright Phillips up towards the edge of the box, crosses the ball in, and it's headed clear by Manchester City, only as far as Scholes again. Scholes has time to bring it under control, plays it away towards Rio Ferdinand on the halfway line. He's got support here from Michael Carrick, and Carrick turns back, and quickly let's go to Dave Woods at Ewood Park.
It's Blackburn 1, Wigan 1, 56 minute. James McCarthy's corner kick, and Gary Caldwell, the new signing, brushing in his header from a couple of yards out. Blackburn 1, Wigan 1.
Thanks, Dave. Stephen Ireland is warming up as well as Adebayor at the moment. Manchester City are going to have to delve into their box of tricks to try and pull this one out and get to Wembley for their first major final in 29 years, because Manchester United, the holders, have their tails up here now. The pendulum at the start of this second half starting to just swing Manchester United's way at the moment.
Since the goal, have dominated possession, haven't they? Let's be honest. Manchester City, well, it's like doubt creeping in the minds of what on certain players, but they've come off the pace, City. And I noticed this last week. They do put a lot of effort in the first hour, and they start to tire.
Here comes Bellamy though, left-hand side, he's got space to run into, and he does so rapidly up to the left-hand angle of the box. Into the box he goes, and he skies his cross, come shot, come whatever it was, horribly, and it ends in the crowd near the corner flag.
I remember when he did that in the last game they played, he went in the top corner, didn't it?
Well, he thought he'd have got them a draw, didn't he, at 3-3 with a goal in the 90th minute. And
top corner of the stand, that one win it.
Still had another little chapter to come at the end, provided by Michael Owen. Owen on the bench tonight for Manchester United. They still have attacking options on the bench. Valencia, who could provide plenty of good crosses into the box should they need it, and Berbatov as well. But at the moment, Manchester United with their noses in front on the night. 1-0, it's 2-2 on aggregate. Ball forward by Giggs, headed away by Dedrick Boyata. De Jong and Barry rather got in each other's way there, but United give the ball away, and Wright Phillips has it over the halfway line in towards Tevez. Little flick now towards Zabaleta through the centre. Support from Bellamy out on the left. Wright Phillips and Tevez race into the penalty area. Bellamy just beyond the left-hand angle of the box. Rolls it outside to Garrido. Garrido with the ball in, and it's an easy catch for Van der Sar. And there's no pressure from Manchester City's forward players in that situation because they have no height.
Well, looking at it, you've got to bring Adebayor on. You've got to get him on now. I think the crosses they have put on, I think he would have the upper hand, especially against Evans and Ferdinand. And he's got to be brave, Mancini, and look at that. And if it was Man United, I'd be looking at Wes Brown for Rafael as well, because Bellamy's getting past them every time.
Lovely ball from Giggs from one side of the field to the other, away towards Nani on the right-hand angle of the penalty area now with Darren Fletcher. Fletcher takes it towards the byline. He's pushed out towards the corner flag by De Jong, rolls it back to Raphael. Raphael with a cross in, and it's headed away. It's a diving header by Micah Richards that sends the ball just outside the box. Zabaleta helps it on its way, but Scholes has it now. 5 Live Sport. Fascinating Carling Cup semi-final second leg. Forward by Giggs. Carrick inadvertently gets in the way, and Barry doesn't make a great job of heading it clear. It's about 10 yards outside the area. Wright Phillips does well, turns away from one challenge, can't run round Evra. Evra has it for United, rolls it back towards Evans on the halfway line, and he too sprays the ball away to the right hand side, taken on the chest on the edge of the box by Nani. Low ball in towards the penalty area, and Boyata there does well to put it over the crossbar, 4 yards out under pressure from Rooney.
So what, if Wayne Rooney gambles near post, he's got a tap in from 2 yards. That is a terrific ball by Evans at first, out to Nani. Good first touch, early ball around the back of the defence, across the 6 yard box, and really if he gambles Wayne Rooney, it's 2-0.
In the Premier League, Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0, Blackburn 1, Wigan 1, Chelsea 2, Birmingham 0, Everton 2, Sunderland 0, Newcastle are beating Palace 1-0 in the Championship, Scunthorpe 1-0 up on Sheffield Wednesday. Here comes the corner into the heart of the Manchester City penalty area, headed away by Vincent Kompany, only as far as Giggs, who again just swings that left peg and puts it at the feet of Nani. Nani's low ball into the edge of the 6 yard boxes, met by Gareth Barry, under pressure from Johnny Evans, up for the attack, and Barry rolls it down the left wing where Tevez has come across to try and gather the ball. He's tackled by Nani, and it goes out of play for Manchester City throw.
Oh, Man United got the tails up. They're really playing at a high tempo, and City at the moment are just hanging on.
Good game at Tannadice tonight. Dundee United 3, St Johnstone 3. And it looks as though Stephen Ireland might be coming on shortly. He's getting changed. He doesn't have a top on at all at the moment, and I'm sure he hasn't been sitting there like that all evening, so I imagine we will be seeing him shortly. He's the sort of player who can provide that creative spark to make a difference in a game.
Yeah, I like Stephen Ireland. Terrific year last year. He's been a few injuries this year and didn't know where to play him when the Saints started signing all these new players.
But, into the Manchester City penalty area, but Shay Given's there once again.
I think he's at his best playing off the striker and allowed to go and make runs forward. That's where he's at his best. You've got to sacrifice one of the 3 boys in midfield. I would probably think it would be Zabaleta who will come off.
Offside flag goes up against Carlos Tevez, and it's a free kick to Manchester United midway inside their own half of the field. 1-0 they lead here. Paul Scholes with the goal fairly early in the second half. It's 2-2 on aggregate, so if it stays like this we will have extra time, and then if it's the same as this after extra time, United would win on away goals. Only 2-1 to United could ultimately take us to penalties as Giggs rolls it through. Aberdeen are 3-0 up at Hearts in Scotland as Stephen Ireland takes some instruction from his smart-suited manager Roberto Mancini on the near side, just short of the halfway line. Scholes floats the ball from the halfway line up to the edge of the penalty area. Rooney beaten to it by Vincent Kompany. Giggs tries to shield it from Richards, who makes a challenge, and Giggs thought he was going to get a free kick in a good position for Manchester United, but Howard Webb thought otherwise. He felt that Giggs was backing in, I think, and it's a free kick to Manchester City, and for them a little bit of breathing room.
I thought Ryan Giggs was just trying to hold his space. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He didn't back in. Richards slipped more than anything and pushed into the back of him. His legs just give way, and he's got himself a free kick.
There was also the small matter of a slight elbow to the throat from Giggs, which probably was why there was a free kick. Stephen Ireland is going to come on. Garrido is the player making way. So Zabaleta, I think, will wander across to left back now.
There you go, left back. Put Ireland just behind Tevez. Get Sean Wright Phillips slightly more right. He's been tucked in for about an hour. Get him to play more of a right-handed side player and let Stephen Ireland be free off Tevez.
Well, he's fresh enough, isn't he, Stephen Ireland? He's missed almost a month, came back at the weekend, played just over an hour in the FA Cup at Scunthorpe. He got injured at Wolves in Christmas week and hasn't played since then until the weekend. So Ireland on. Can he help to make a difference? Because in the second half here, it's suddenly turned Manchester United's way. Little slip by De Jong. Rooney has the ball, rolls it under his foot, back to the halfway line, right inside the centre circle. Scholes towards Rio Ferdinand. And Ferdinand away to the right-hand side and Raphael forward to Nani. Nani tries to backheel the ball, and not for the first time. He tries a trick which doesn't come off, and Manchester City end up with a free kick, and there's been a goal at Scunthorpe. Let's go to Naz Premji.
Scunthorpe United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Grant McCann with an effort from 12 yards out. Wednesday have been camped in the Scunthorpe heart. Hit on the break they were, the Owls. Past Lee Grant. It's Scunthorpe United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Meanwhile, a yellow card for Pablo Zabaleta, who'd rather lashed out at Nani after the ball had gone. Nani's been booked.
Nani got it. It was Zabaleta who struck out. I don't think Howard Webb saw that.
Well, clearly
did.
Zabaleta was the player who kicked Nani after the ball had gone. That was extraordinary. I think that's the thing with Zabaleta, isn't it? For all his qualities, actually, you're never quite sure. He's been sent off this season, and he got a red card last season as well. He does get a little bit hot under the collar at times.
Yeah, he gets too involved. There's a silly foul by Johnny Evans on Sean Wade Phillips about 25-30 yards out on this right-hand side.
20 minutes played in the second half here on 5 Live Sport. Free kick to Manchester City. United lead 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. If it stays like this, we're heading to extra time, but United would win on away goals at the end of extra time if the score doesn't change. In the Premier League, 0-0, Villa Arsenal, Blackburn 1, Wigan 1, Chelsea 2, Birmingham 0, Everton 2, Sunderland 0.
Watch something here down the side maybe. Bellamy may pull off the back of the wall, down the side where Giggs is on the outside, just for that little reverse pass.
Tevez and Barry standing near the ball. Howard Webb is happy the wall is back far enough. Bellamy does his best to get in the way. Ball played forward, tried to chip it over the wall in towards Bellamy, nods the ball down. The shot from Micah Richards takes a deflection, goes over the top. United's players are unhappy, but City have a corner.
Well, Ryan Giggs spotted it. Bellamy did pull off the back of the wall, and it was a nice little chip by Barry. But after that, Bellamy fouls Ryan Giggs in the back for me, pushes him in the back, and Howard Webb missed that, and the result is a corner from a shot from Micah Richards deflected.
United players are still arguing about it, 2 or 3. Maybe they'd be better advised to concentrate on defending this corner here, so as they don't get caught out, with Bellamy preparing to take it. 21.5 minutes played in the second half. City need a goal to get back in this, really. Over comes the ball from Bellamy, nodded forward by Nani. Ball bouncing just 10-15 yards outside the area. Rooney can't clear it. Ireland towards the right hand side. Good pass picking out Bellamy. Bellamy faced by Michael Carrick, runs across the face of the 18-yard box and then sends the ball high and wide into the crowd.
Well, it's strange, City. You know, they cross the ball when they've got nobody in the box, and when they've got 4 or 5 blue shirts in there, they decide to shoot from very strange angles.
It's a goal kick which Edwin van der Sar will take. A reminder of the scores in the Scottish Premier Division: Celtic 1, Hibs 1, Dundee United 3, St Johnstone 3, Falkirk and Motherwell 0-0, Hearts 0, Aberdeen 3 I think was the latest score, and St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Chelsea heading to the top of the Premier League, or will be top tonight the way things are going. 2-0 up against Birmingham at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal drawing 0-0 at Aston Villa. United on the attack, left hand side, ever in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Manchester City a little slow to clear their lines, and Kompany tries to play his way out of trouble. He's found Richards on the right hand side, and he just slices that one up towards the halfway line. Tevez loses out in a challenge for the ball, and it's played forward by Giggs up to the edge of the penalty area. We're midway through the second half here. Manchester United lead 1-0 on the night. It's 2-2 on aggregate. If it stays like this, we're headed for extra time. But taking you through to the end of the 90 minutes, Mike Ingham.
Well, the noise that greeted the goal when Manchester United scored, it couldn't have been louder had United won the Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup all in that moment. But having said all of that, this tie is still very finely balanced. Although United just have the slightest edge now, one moment from City can change everything. Great challenge coming in from Evans on Tevez, and the ball is back on the halfway line where Boyata has to be very quick. So too will Richards have to be against Fletcher. Great tussle there between Fletcher and Richards. Then there's a bit of manhandling between Fletcher and Richards. Both players then push out at each other. Howard Webb steps in to pull them apart once more. Initially it was a great contest that between Richards and Fletcher. Fletcher is strong, Richards is powerful. Referee sorting it out. He needs to get all the other players who weren't involved away, and then we'll continue.
You could see it happen, mate. As that ball was going, it looked like a 50-50. Fletcher slid in, Richards goes over the challenge, they get up, bit of pulling his shirts and whatever, and then it looked like it was just going to happen, but I think players came in and split them up, which was good.
Moments like that just sort of underpin what this night is all about, really. The expectation down there, particularly the expectation for Manchester City, as we've been saying, trying to get to their first final since 1981. Let's go back to Villa Park and Pat Murphy.
It's still 0-0 here. It could go either way in the last few minutes. Arsenal have gone through the gears in this last quarter now. So Rosicky hit the underside of the bar after Friedel had palmed away Arshavin shot, but Arsenal still worried about the pace of Agbonlahor. It's Villa 0, Arsenal 0.
Thank you, Pat. A former Arsenal forward, Emmanuel Adebayor, is about to come back into English football. What a story this would be if he was to score the goal to send City to Wembley. He's coming on in a moment. Manchester United now with Ryan Giggs with a big diagonal ball to the far side of the field. Zabaletta's header away from Nani. Back to Chelsea and Ian Dennis.
Chelsea still lead Birmingham 2-0, Mike, but it's still all Chelsea. But Birmingham have created two opportunities where they could have created an anxious finish. McFadden pulled a chance wide. Cech made a flying save from Fahy. Chelsea 2, Birmingham 0.
Thank you. Emmanuel Adebayor has done it before in this stage, but now the ball's into Fletcher. Fletcher going round. Oh, great defending by Manchester City, but the shot is still driven in. Over on the far side by Michael Carrick, and Carrick celebrates the goal, which could take Manchester United back to Wembley for the Carling Cup final. It's been a great second half from United. First of all, we had the one goal from Paul Scholes. Now another midfield player, Michael Carrick, joins in. It's Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1. City now have to score.
Well, it was Nani who made it. Terrific run by Nani. Lovely little ball. Fletcher did ever so well. Trying to shape it up for himself. And it's just a simple side foot by Carrick as it falls to what? Just the corner of the 6-yard box, about 8 yards out. In off the post, far away. Sends Gibbon the wrong way. It's just a simple pass. Gibbon goes down very, very early, and it's 2-0 Manchester United.
Well, I was saying that Adebayor's done it before in this stadium, and he'll have to do it now for his team. He's scored winning goals here for Arsenal in the past. He comes on for Sean Wright-Phillips. All the talk has been about Wayne Rooney here scoring the goals for Manchester United, but the two goals to give them the initiative here have come from the midfield, and there's a wretched back pass now from Manchester City, and I'm not sure Shay Gibbon got there. It's a corner and City are rattled by that. The goals from midfield. Scholes, formerly of England. Carrick now very much part of the England scene. That has to be a corner, surely.
Well, the linesman couldn't keep up with play, and he's just basically kept his flag down because he was about 10 yards off the pace.
Confusion between the officials. Ryan Giggs can't believe it. He's pointing. Howard Webb, what decision has he given a throw in here? Well, that looked as if it had gone behind for a corner. Maybe the linesman wasn't in the best vantage point. But now it's Manchester United 2, City 0. Second half goals from Scholes and Carrick to turn it around here. Ryan Giggs trying to win a corner again against the fullback Richards. City will still be dangerous. And remember, if City score here, then it's absolutely level pegging. We would go into extra time, and 2-1 would be the only scoreline which could produce eventually penalties here tonight. Lovely touch from Evra, but United threatening to score again. Giggs into the area. Evra's ball. Rooney! Oh, he should have scored. He's put it wide. That should have been the end of it, really. Rooney should have scored, and he's knocked it wide.
Well, he's a man in form. I think it came to him. It just got under his feet. He couldn't get a clear straight. Wonderful play again, Giggs and Evra. It just got caught between his feet, and it's gone half a yard wide.
Looking for the net to bulge, looking for the celebration. Wayne Rooney's never scored a League Cup goal in England. The only goals he's ever scored in the League Cup all came in Wales. His first two for Everton against Wrexham, and the other two in Cardiff in the final against Wigan. That was almost the moment for him. Here come United again. Giggs looking for Rooney. By the way, it was Rooney who started the move which led to the first goal, eventually put away with great aplomb by Paul Scholes. Back to Chelsea, Ian Dennis.
Chelsea 3, Birmingham 0. Deco released Malouda. He had Sturridge to his right, Lampard to his left, and it was Lampard who drilled the ball in low. Chelsea back top of the Premier League 3-0.
Thank you, Ian. Wes Brown about to come on for Manchester United to try and solidify things maybe. Lovely ball out into midfield, Fletcher and Carrick, and that's really where United have been especially strong tonight. This is where they've taken over in the second half now, with Fletcher and Carrick and Scholes, and now Fletcher going in again on the edge of the penalty area. Rooney's appealing for a free kick, and it's given, and City just losing it a bit here, Chris.
No, they've just lost the legs, mate, more than anything. The heads went down at the first goal, you could see that. In football, which Mancini will have to learn with his side, for all he's got a talented team, talented squad, it's about 90 minutes. It's not about 45 or an hour. Man United have played this game very well, and it's very much like last week's for me. City is really tired after an hour, and now it is just all Manchester United.
Well, we'll go to St Mirren in a moment, but now let's stay with this free kick for Manchester United on the edge of the City penalty area. Raphael, who would have gained an awful lot from playing in these two legs of the semi-final, is replaced by the England international Wes Brown. Here we've got three Manchester United players. I think it's Giggs, Nani and Rooney all over the ball. It's to the right as we look at it. It's about 25 yards away from Shay Gibbons' goal. Another one now from Manchester United, and surely that would be enough for them. Looks like it could be Giggs. Rooney's moved away. It's Nani to the left and Giggs to the right, and here goes Giggs, too high, over the bar. And we'll go back now for more news of St Mirren and Rangers from Alison Walker.
Yep, and it's St Mirren 0, Rangers 2. Nacho Novo off the post and into the back of the net. A little bit hard in St Mirren, but the league leaders look like they're heading for their win.
Thank you very much. So we've got 15 minutes to go in this second leg of the semi-final of the Carling Cup. 5 Live Sport. 2-1 to City in the first game. 2-0 to Manchester United at the moment. City must get a goal. Adebayor's looking for his first touch. He gets the ball off Tevez and he plays it to Bellamy over on the left-hand side. Bellamy curls the ball in. Tevez! Goal from Tevez! It was a little flick. No more than that. And it was a little flick which was beyond Edwin van der Sar. And that puts it right back in the melting pot. United 2 in front. Looked like that was going to be enough. But now a goal from Tevez absolutely levels it off. It's his third in this semi-final. You would never bet against him doing it here tonight. And Tevez, after all the build-up, makes it United 2, City 1.
I think it's all because of Adebayor's presence. I've got to say, he linked the ball out to Bellamy. Bellamy then looked and thought, I've got to target it here to hit Adebayor. 3 Ayland as well, a forward player. 3 blue shirts in that box, and that would cause problems. Tevez, lovely run to near post. A little flick into the bottom corner.
Well, there was no running towards the United bench or anything nonsensical like that tonight. Just a business-like handshake or two back to the halfway line. And so Manchester United 2-0 up, seconds ago. Now it's 2-1, and now it's Bellamy with a chance to put City back in front here. Ireland's waiting, Bellamy from the angle. Denied by Evans, but still City have possibilities. And City been really revved up by that goal from Carlos Tevez. And it's going to be a free kick to United over on the far side. We're going to go back to Blackburn now. Dave Woods.
It's Blackburn back in the lead, 2-1 against Wigan. Simple corner, Morten Gamst Pedersen putting it over. Nikola Kalinic peeling away from the defenders to head it in. His reward, he's just been substituted by Jason Roberts immediately. But Blackburn lead Wigan by 2-1.
Well, I think I said in the first half, Chris, we were just waiting for this one to build. Inevitably, it would do, and it has. And we've got a full time coming in now from Stamford Bridge from Ian Dennis.
Chelsea 3, Birmingham 0. Comfortable victory. First half goals from Aluda and Lampard. Birmingham could have set up an anxious finish, but McFadden squandered a chance. Cech made a flying save from Fahy. Lampard drilled in his second in the 90th minute. Chelsea back top, Mike.
Thank you. So just to repeat here, it's Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1 on the night. Tevez has scored all 3 City goals now in this semi-final. It's absolutely level pegging. This would go into extra time if it stayed like this. It would force penalties if it stayed like this. Where's the next goal coming from? Evra for Manchester United. They just seem to be... That Rooney miss now, of course, could be very important here. Well, Manchester City will be stronger now, having scored that goal. And Ireland is looking for Adebayor. And Rio Ferdinand made the challenge and then winced with pain as he made it. Gets it down the line to Evra. And now United need to find another gear. Mike Phelan from the sideline is trying to encourage. As United look to build down the left-hand side, Michael Richards has taken a blow. Maybe he's got cramp. We'll go to Villa in a moment as Rooney's trying to bring the ball down on the edge of the area. Heads it sideways to Nani. Nani's surrounded by light blue shirts. Rooney's beautiful chip to Wes Brown wide on the Manchester United right. High, aimless ball in from Wes Brown's gone behind. A goal kick to Manchester City. And here's Pat Murphy at Villa Park.
It's Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 0. A great deal of endeavour from both sides. Rosici hit the underside of the bar. Fabregas hit the inside of the post. Villa also missed a lot of chances. The referee Lee Probert didn't impress either sets of players or managers. In the end, Mike, it was much ado about nothing.
Thank you very much, Pat. So Arsenal are now 1 point behind Manchester United, level on games. Those two meet on Sunday. Chelsea, remember, now 1 point clear, having beaten Birmingham City here tonight. Now then, here at Old Trafford in the Manchester derby, and what a second half we've had. 2-1 now, having been 2-0 to Manchester United. Carlos Tevez has got City back into the game once more here. City looking much stronger and much more confident, having got that goal. Right out of the blue it was, right out of the light blue, I suppose. Now, City with the ball back inside their own half. And the young defender, Boyata. The crowd a little more quiet than they were. Boyata's long ball forward, trying to stretch Manchester United. Tevez won't get that on this occasion. And we've got 10 minutes to go here. 2-1 to Manchester United. It's full time at Celtic. Brian McLaughlin.
Time, and there's a dramatic winner for Hibs in the last minute. Danny Gilbraith, the former Manchester United youngster, scoring late on in the game. It looked a suspicion of offside, but the goal stood. Celtic 1, Hibs 2.
Thank you, Brian. Goals change everything. The mood of City's totally changed now. The fans are making a noise away to our right. Looked like they were going out of the Carling Cup, but now a very different story here. Ryan Giggs of Manchester United trying to impose themselves once more. Square ball into midfield and Scholes. Scholes now lifts it to the far side of the field towards Nani. Remember, Berbatov and Owen both on the bench for Manchester United. It's a throw into United, deep inside the City half, whereas Brown will take it. He's come on for Raphael, but Sir Alex Ferguson can make 2 more changes in the game. He may need to if it goes into extra time. Brown can't get the ball past Bellamy. Ferdinand now hacks it forward, and Ireland will slam it back only as far though as Paul Scholes. We'll get a St Mirren in a moment as the Scottish international Fletcher turns and finds Carrick. Carrick now onto Giggs. Rooney's in the area. Giggs looking for Rooney, and City defend. Giggs again, shot driven in by Carrick. Carrick again, and it's gone wide. That was a great chance for Manchester United.
That was better than a great chance. What unbelievable. First one got blocked as it falls to his left foot. You fancy him on a half volley. What, he's 7-8 yards out. Great ball in by Giggs, but you'd fancy Michael Carrick to hit the target at least, and it goes way to the post. He really snatches at it. Terrific strike. Just way to the post.
Right, St Mirren against Rangers now. Alison Walker.
And Rangers have won here. St Mirren 0, Rangers 2. What a roar from the Rangers support when they heard that Celtic score. Goals from Stephen Davis in the second minute and Nacho Novo 4 minutes from the end. Rangers take all the points. St Mirren 0, Rangers 2.
Thank you. Nobody has the upper hand here now as Bellamy now looks for Tevez, and that will drop to Edwin van der Sar. Edwin van der Sar, who's been very accomplished in the United goal as ever, again tonight finds Giggs. Giggs now looking for, doesn't find Rooney. Tired ball by Giggs, immediately apologises, and it's a throw to Manchester City, who have been completely revived by that Carlos Tevez goal. And we have about 8 minutes of normal time to go in regular time here. Remember the possibility, the prospect now of 30 extra minutes as Rooney's header down, doesn't find anyone in red, and Zabaleta immediately gets it forward towards Tevez. Evans, who's done well tonight, clears for Manchester United. Throw into City. Which way is it going to go now? A goal for either of these. Mind you, having said that, I was going to say a goal now for either of these two should be enough, but remembering the league game here, which went 4-3, anything's still possible. Richards throws the ball, should have been headed away by Giggs. Adebayor now battling with Evra down this near side. Adebayor and Ireland trying to link up. Evra trying to scramble it away. Adebayor putting great pressure on the United players to such an extent that City got it back now through De Jong. De Jong faced by 2 or 3 United players. It's onside for Richards. Richards has a chance to cross here, and it goes towards Tevez, headed away by Brown. Barry heads it back in again. Volley clear by Ferdinand. Suddenly it's Manchester United having to defend. Ball is out of play far side for City.
Richards did ever so well. I thought it was offside when he made his run, but kept it in, flicked it into danger area. You've got to say, with the presence of Adebayor in there, they do look more threatening.
Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1 is the scoreline tonight. That was the result in the first game 8 days ago, and City have the ball again, and they're getting more of it at the moment than Manchester United. United fans now trying to help the side. It looked as if they were coasting, taking a 2-0 lead, and then Rooney missing a good chance from close in. Now Zabaleta playing at left back, looks to try and find Bellamy over on the far side. Brown and Ferdinand almost getting in each other's way. Ferdinand goes to the ground, and Brown takes on Bellamy, goes around him, and now tries to clear for Manchester United, but can't get it past Ireland. City back in business once more. Back pass from Scholes, neatly done, which is cleared now by Van der Sar to this near side, and Evra of United needs support. They're all running away from him, and the challenge comes in from Stephen Ireland, and it's going to be a Manchester United throw. Mancini hasn't sat down right from the start of this game. He's still down there in his blue and white scarf, trying to inspire from the sideline. Ball out of play again, this time from De Jong, and Manchester United have a throw. Howard Webb, the referee, having quite a good game down there, needs to have a good game. Eyes in the back of his head as Evra now with a misplaced pass can't find Rooney. City defend and Ireland clears. Scholes and Evans together for United on the halfway line. United never really having control of the ball here, but now can Rooney do something magical for them? Giggs well tackled by Richards, and suddenly Manchester United not finding as much space. This is just like it was in the first half, a long periods It's full time at Newcastle, Peter Slater.
2-0 Newcastle over Palace. The leaders made to work very hard by Warnock's side. Carroll's header deflected past his own keeper by Sean Derry gave them the lead at half-time. Ambrose should have equalised with 20 minutes to go but hit the post. And in stoppage time on the break, Niall Ranger added a second. Newcastle 3 points clear with the game in hand. They've beaten Palace 2-0.
Here at Old Trafford, a shot bent wide by Darren Fletcher in the second half. It was 0-0 at half-time. Goals from Scholes and Carrick made it 2-0 for Manchester United. But then Carlos Tevez came back once more to haunt United with a goal for City. So it's 2-1. Chris Waddle.
Oh, it's so finely poised. The only way you can see something happening here in the last, 5 minutes, 6 minutes to stop, 7 minutes is going to be a mistake. I think both teams have realised the prize, and I think they've got a little bit edgy, and it's who's got a little bit of brilliance, or will there be a mistake?
Well, Adebayor's given City a bit of physical presence coming up to support Tevez. Maybe Manchester United might need Berbatov soon to help out Wayne Rooney. City win the ball and then give it away in midfield, and now it's Ryan Giggs looking to try and release Rooney, and it's not really well cleared from Boyata. Rooney wide on the left. Rooney's going to lose this though. A good challenge came in from Kompany. Rooney chased Kompany to try and get him to make a mistake, but the ball is delivered long, and Van der Sar came out of his goal. He'll have to get back in again now, back into the penalty area to receive the pass from Evans and now find Ferdinand. This is dangerous on the edge of the United area. Brown gets it away now. Nani, haven't seen a great deal from him in the second half, and he's lost the ball very easily to Zabaleta. Barry now into Tevez. Tevez trying to turn Ferdinand. Releases Craig Bellamy. Ireland goes to the near post. In comes across. Adebayor's header, and it's wide. Never really threatened to control that or direct it towards the target. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
Terrific pressure from City there. You know, this failed third, they'd never give up on. Man United played some wonderful football, good pressure. I thought he was in two minds here, mate, whether to bring it down on his chest or head it.
Final score in the Championship, Scunthorpe 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Groans from the United fans as they lose the ball once more on the edge of the City penalty area. And we've got about 3.5 minutes of the 90 to go, plus 2 or 3 minutes of added time. And then, if necessary, well, it will be necessary at the moment, we'll be having extra time for you. Could not be closer, could it? 2-1 at the City of Manchester, 2-1 here, 3-3 on aggregate. And by the way, when they met in the semi-final and City went on to win the Cup for the first time in 1970, that was 4-3 on aggregate then to Manchester City in the end. They won 2-1 at home and drew 2-2 here. Free kick to City's headed away by Manchester United. Giggs is easily beaten in the air by Richards, and now Tevez linking with Adebayor. Tevez goes round Evra. Angle's awkward. Tevez shot is charged down though by Rio Ferdinand. It was good defending by the England man, but City looking threatening here, and Micah Richards now prepares to take a throw for them.
He could have pulled that Adebayor across the goal. Obviously the roar of the crowd made him shoot.
2-1 to Manchester United on the night. Tevez everywhere. He's got the ball following the throw-in. Tevez knocks it on to Richards, but Evra stands up firmly against Richards, and the ball is out of play for a City throw-in. Adebayor and Tevez are in the area, and Bellamy's just on the edge of it. Throw-in now. Will Richards take this one long? And Howard Webb saying get on with it. Throw-in to Manchester City, and Richards takes it short. Ireland's now gone for the return. Cross comes in too near Van der Sar, who's only got Rooney downfield, but he will still nevertheless punt it downfield, hoping to clear Kompany. Kompany backward header. Now it's up to Boyata, and Boyata manages to, all he does is swing it back up into the air again. But City are going to get away with it. Richards is back, and Richards does get a good clearance now back into the Manchester United half. Well, Van der Sar, even though he only had Rooney downfield, still decided to go for it. And now a nicely cushioned header by Scholes sends it back once more to the Manchester United goalkeeper. But for me now, looking at it, Valencia's coming on. I was going to say, I think Rooney needs the help of Berbatov, but Valencia is going to come on maybe, well, either for Giggs or Nani, clearly, to play in a wide position. So we won't be getting Berbatov and Owen tonight. Only one more of them can come on. Ferdinand's long ball downfield. Nani beaten in the air by Zabaleta, but now Nani has another chance on the chest. Surrounded by light blue shirts, but he manages to feed Scholes. 2-1 to Manchester United. A goal now could make all the difference. Ryan Giggs on the edge of the area. Giggs plays it to the edge of the area. Wes Brown won't get there in time, I don't think. Well, he did in the end, but all he did was toe poke it well wide from distance. And here comes Alex Ferguson's second change now, and he's going to take off Nani and put Valencia on the right-hand side.
Well, Nani's done okay. Just bits of quality, but I think I've been impressed with his work rate more than anything else. He's running back, he's tackling, he was being decent in the air. Now fresh pair of legs, Valencia Can he get it? Zabaleta, who looks very tired in his last few moments.
Well, maybe that's what's been spotted on the sideline down there by Mike Phelan and Sir Alex Ferguson, the fact that Zabaleta perhaps looks vulnerable. So fresh legs, Valencia coming on, the South American Antonio Valencia, and the clearance made by Shay Given in the City goal. 2-1, and we have played almost the 90 minutes. Fourth official in a moment. For the added minutes, Michael Carrick lets the ball roll on. 3 minutes of added time. Valencia gets his first touch. In goes the cross, and it's gone off the defender. And Manchester United, in added time at the end of the 90 minutes, with extra time approaching, have a corner over on the right, and Ryan Giggs to take it.
No, they do normally score late goals, Manchester United.
What a goal now, and that will be enough to take United to the final. No question about that. Ryan Giggs will try and measure this corner kick. Nani's corners haven't been the best. Rooney at the moment is standing on the goal line. Ferdinand's at the near post, perhaps looking for a flick. Fletcher's just behind him. Brown and Evans have gone forward. Now, here comes the corner kick from Ryan Giggs. It's deep and it's headed away by City. Scholes will retrieve on the edge of the area. Scholes lifts it to the far side, looking to try and find Giggs once more. Another chance for Giggs to try and get this one in with his left foot. In the end, it's with his right foot. Fletcher with a header, saved by the goalkeeper. Given was there. Fletcher pouncing at the near post. Great ball in from Giggs. Corner.
Wonderful play by Giggs. Didn't cross it with his left, onto his right. Great save, Given.
Short corner taken. Valencia didn't seem to be expecting it. Now Giggs fires it in, and it's got in. And it's a goal from the man of the moment, who does a somersault in the process, Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, the hero, in added time here at Old Trafford. Rooney scores his first goal in the League Cup in England. All of his others were in Wales. This one's at the home of Manchester United, the home of the holders, and it looks like it could put City out. Manchester United 3, Manchester City 1.
What a fantastic ball in though. Just look at the quality of Giggs' cross. His first one was brilliant when Fletcher glanced one out and given terrific save. This one was even better. Short corner, gets it back, and he just puts it in with so much pace. Wayne Rooney 5 yards out. There's no way the goalkeeper can come for it. The pace on it, middle of the goal. Fantastic header by Rooney. What a ball by Giggs.
Well, how many times over the years have we sat here and seen Manchester United score dramatic late goals? That's one of the most dramatic. And you simply can't leave Rooney out of the headlines. This was being billed as a Rooney-Tevez showdown. Well, Tevez has done his stuff here again tonight with a goal. 3 he's scored overall in this semi-final. But Wayne Rooney looks like he's going to have the last word here. We're playing added time, and we played an awful lot of it. We played 2.5 minutes now of the extra 3, and it looks like we're going to have a Manchester United-Aston Villa final on the last day of February. They celebrate in red all around us. City have one more chance maybe, but that's a loose one that's gone wide from Zabaleta. And those scarves, those green and those gold scarves, almost outnumbering the famous red scarves now, being waved all around us here. And Manchester City's world domination may have to wait a few more months, I think. Never mind world domination. Manchester United tonight have asserted themselves in terms of Manchester domination.
Oh, what a fantastic atmosphere, and it's been a good game. City have played the part over the 2 legs, been very close. But I would say if it finishes late, I think Man United over 2 games have been slightly the better team.
19 goals in the Premier League. Wayne Rooney liberated after Ronaldo's departure. His first goal in this competition since he got a couple for United in Cardiff to beat Wigan in the final 4 years ago. We're well over time here. Manchester United 3, Manchester City 1 tonight, 4-3 on aggregate, and Manchester United, the holders, are through to another Carling Cup final where they will meet Aston Villa on the 28th day of February. But more important for their fans, they've seen off their noisy neighbours here tonight, Manchester City, who ran them all the way right into added time until Wayne Rooney, the player of the season, applied the finishing touch. Ryan Giggs, the BBC Sports Personality of the Year, got the ball in as well for them. And it's Manchester United 3, City 1 on the night, and United win it overall by 4 goals to 3.
Well, Chris, let's be honest, a fantastic cup semi-final both last week and this week. Absolutely what we want. Wonderful atmosphere, here and there, ebbing and flowing, and then Wayne Rooney, who has been the man of the season for Manchester United, comes up just when it looks like we're going to extra time.
Absolutely, look, it means to the players. You saw in the final whistle, they were jumping all over each other. I know it's bragging rights as much as anything, but they're at Wembley now. They'll play Aston Villa. Over the 2 games have been fantastic atmospheres. Both players have been really up for it. City made it really interesting coming out of that 2-1 advantage, and they give it a very good go again. But they're not far behind Man United at the minute. But you've got to say, over the 2 games, Manchester United just deserved it.
We've just seen a banner which says 10, Rooney, the white Pele. Maybe not quite, but he's having one heck of a season.
Well, I just love his enthusiasm, his attitude, and he's grown up a lot more. I think, with Ronaldo gone, a bit more responsibility, and I think he's enjoying it. Doesn't get involved in silly tackles, which he could have on 2 or 3 occasions tonight. He basically gets on the game now, thinks about the team, and again he's got the winning goal. He didn't look like he was going to score tonight, but what a wonderful ball by Ryan Giggs. I think me and you could have scored that, even with that hat on you've got.
All jealousy will get you nowhere, Chris. The thing is, he missed the chance at 2-0, but it came to him, and it came to him awkwardly, didn't he? Actually, it was Carrick's chance at 2-1, which was at 2-0, which was the better chance to put away, wasn't it? He'd scored once, but he actually missed a really good chance.
Yeah, he had a great. I just got under his feet, he was sort of running in, and he snatched out his left. It was just caught between his feet. But the one thing he'll say, Mark, he's there all the time. It doesn't matter if he misses, he goes back again, and he goes back again, and he got his reward last minute.
Manchester City, I've asked this before, but as they have an Italian manager, do you think that his instinct, Mancini, is always defence first?
Yeah, he will be. He will be. I think what he's looked at City is he's probably thought, we've got a lot of talent. You've got Bellamy, you've got Ray Phillips, you've got Adebayor, you've got Tevez, you've got Ayland. But we've got to make sure we keep clean sheets. Every manager wants to do it. He wants to entertain, but he wants clean sheets. And by the way, City finished top 4. They've had a marvellous season. If they finished top 6, still had a great season. They're getting there. And if next year they'll be serious again. They might be closer to Man United again. But they're a club definitely on the up. And maybe not this year, but definitely next year they'll be around.
Well, February the 28th, it's going to be then Aston Villa against Manchester United in the Carling Cup final. Villa, their first final for 10 years. United, of course, this is the sort of thing that they expect every single season, really. There's an enormous yellow and green flag which has been unveiled away at the Stretford end, and it was noticeable after the 3rd goal. There seem to be, I'm looking around the ground now, there are more yellow and gold flags, yellow and green flags, than there are the red and white ones. It certainly seems to be that way at the moment. Manchester United 3, Manchester City 1, United through to the final.